You
Same
good?
here. Yep.
All right. Making the switch in 5, 4, 3. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Good morning, evening, everyone. I'm Fenwick Alcester, the Demon Moose. And today, I am teaching a lovely turtle how to play chess. Why don't you
Hello.
introduce yourself, lovely turtle?
Got there too soon. Sorry. Hello. It's Kamekame or Kabe for short. It's me, the world turtle in training. Nice to meet everybody.
Nice to see everyone out. Hey, Riptide, how's it going? Hi, Riptide. Or is it Athena? Riptide or Athena? Who's with me today? Yeah, you'll catch up. You'll hear that in a sec. Yeah, welcome everyone. We are playing and teaching chess.
Cheers.
This is really from the beginning.
Yes, I
How
know
pieces
nothing at
move and
all.
stuff like that. Yeah, we're starting from absolute scratch. So even if you don't know anything at all about chess, that's fine. This is the stream for you.
Yeah, I'm
And
very excited to be here. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to come to Fenwick stream as well. And thank you to Fen for inviting me here.
yeah, thanks for coming. I am honored to be your first collab partner. That's great. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
Hadaraku11. How's it going? How are you? Welcome, welcome. So, in case you haven't seen me before, and I mean, I know for everyone that has been here since the start of stream, I know I just introduced myself. I'm going to do it again because we have a new person. Might as well, right? Hi, I'm Fenwick Alcester, the Demon Moose. Pleasure to meet you. All right. How about let's get started with the basic, just let's figure out how the pieces move, shall we?
Yes, yes. I feel like I'm staring at just a bunch of pieces of virtual wood.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of are. So yeah, let's actually, you know what? The one thing I will do is I will drag this screen around to here so I can have your stream up and also my OBS. There we go. Okay. So let's start with how pieces move. So
Pisces.
the weakest, most basic piece there is the pawn. And that is these guys. Just waiting to see, do highlights show up on your screen? They do not.
No.
That is
Oh no.
maybe should have tested that beforehand. Let's see.
That's fine.
If I just want to check settings, see if there's something in there. Piece notation, board, sound theme, show legal moves. Nope, nothing in there. Okay, so pawns are the guys all across your front row,
The little
like
dudes.
the little dudes. Yeah, the ones in rows 2 and 7 are the pawns.
Ah.
They move. They move forward. They can only move forward. Once a pawn moves forward, there's no going back. So
Oh.
by default, they can move one space. Are you even seeing that? Okay, you
Yeah,
are.
I see it.
Cool. Okay. Now that we're actually in a game, maybe it'll do it. If I highlight those,
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. There we go. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, pawns are all those guys in front. By default, pawns can move one space forward.
One
Uh,
space forward.
and if they haven't moved yet, so on their first move, they can move two spaces forward. Like that.
Ooh. Can they do that multiple times or?
They can only do that once.
Ah.
And only if that's the first move that they do.
Oh, okay.
So, hi Candace, how's it going? Oh boy. We're kicking off stream with a redeem. Let me let me pull up that list, shall we?
What did they redeem?
Canis redeemed a bad pickup line.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited to hear this one.
All right, let's see. Let's choose one. Let's choose one for Canis. Let's choose one for a stinky fox. Uh let's see. All right, here we go. Hey, Canis, you must be exhausted because you've been running through my mind all day.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so bad. That's so bad.
Yes, Canis, you're a stinky fox. Just deal with it. You got your bad pickup line. Have fun. Oh, you love that one. Fantastic. I guess that means it wasn't bad enough. We'll try harder next time.
Hey, teacher.
Anyways.
Hey, professor. Professor, I have a question for you.
Yes.
When pirates beat each when I can't talk. Sorry, I'm trying to do it. Don't worry. I got a question. Got a question. When pirates beat another pirate in chess, what did they say? They say, "What?
What?
You get a guess." What did they say?
I have no idea. What does the pirate
Checkmatey.
say?
Checkmatey.
That's great.
I may or may not have a couple of chess puns with me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, bring up. I haven't heard that one before.
And we're gonna bring up the bad pickup lines. We're gonna bring out the bad puns.
Oh, Candace brought a pickup line in return. Okay, see, here's the thing, Candace. That one's not actually bad. That one's actually like not terrible. I can't use it. It's not bad enough. Candace says, "Hey girl, nice skirt. What's the drop rate?"
I almost spit out my drink.
See, like that's the thing. I could actually see that one working on the right person.
I'm the right person. I'm the right person who likes bad pickup lines.
On the right person that likes bad pickup lines and is a particular nerd. Yeah. All right. Where were we? Pawns. Pawn movement. So yeah, pawns can move one space forward by default. Uh, like that's the thing that they can always do. They can always move one space. If it's their first movement, they can move two spaces.
2 spaces. Okay, I got it.
So now that you've moved that pawn, this guy, he wouldn't be able to move two spaces again.
So it's just a one-time thing. No questions asked.
It's just a one-time thing.
Alrighty. Information inside brain.
So pawns, they move forward, and pawns are a bit of an oddity because they're the only piece that captures in a different pattern from how it normally moves.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, pawns can only move straight forward. But here's the thing. If they want to capture another piece, they can't capture one that's right in front of them. They
Oh.
wouldn't be able to capture if a piece was right in front of them. So say like you moved a pawn there, my white pawn would not be able to capture your black pawn.
Ah.
Instead, pawns capture forward diagonally one space. They have to capture diagonally.
Oh. Can they do that twice? Like move 2 spaces from diagonally?
No. No, it can
Ah.
only ever be just one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thanks for the follow. Nitper7329. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the follow. But yeah, so they can only capture just directly diagonal to them.
Okay.
So that would look like that. And
Oh.
then, they move, I move, they move again. And at this point, this pawn can capture there or there.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
if
see.
something is in the way, if a piece is in the way, like directly in front, they can't move forward. They can't like move and capture. They just kind of pawns can get stuck.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Now, the other unique thing about pawns is if they make it all the way, I'm just going to make a random move here. If they make it all the way, another random move, to the back rank, if they make it all the way to the opposite side of the board, in this case by capturing my rook, they get to promote, which is basically a special way of saying they get to turn into another different type of piece.
Oh?
Usually a queen, because queens are best. Usually.
Can they turn into like a different piece if you wanted
Yeah.
it to?
Oh yeah. It could turn into like a bishop or a rook or a knight, but there's really no point in turning into a bishop or a rook because bishops and rooks are just kind of worse versions of like bishops and rooks can only do like half of what a queen can do. So
Mm.
anytime you get one of those, you just want a queen.
Okay, so if you can go with queen always ish.
For the most part, yeah.
Ah.
It's generally a pretty good rule is just always take a queen if you can get a pawn to the other side. So that's the basic movement of pawns. They move forward one space normally, 2 spaces if it's their first movement, and they capture diagonally.
Okay.
Capture
I
diagonally, but
understand.
not in front of them. Even though
Okay.
they move forward, they can't capture forward.
So you can kind of trap a pawn just by being in front of it.
Yeah, so when like 2 pawns meet like this, those 2 pawns are just kind of stuck staring at each other and they can't do anything to each other.
Mm.
This is a very common theme that happens a lot. It's like one of the core principles, honestly.
That's kind of funny. I'm trying to imagine them as people because the names are kind of similar to like king, queens, rooks, bishops, and just 2 dudes staring at each other. Like, I can't shoot you. Ah.
Yeah, no,
Staring each
exactly.
other down.
Yeah, so I'm trying to, let's see, so if I just want to reset the board. So if I do that and play another. That should. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I've never actually used the classroom function before, so I just wanted to make sure that I was actually getting it right. Okay. Cool. Next piece that we're gonna cover is actually I think. Sorry, thinking on the fly.
No,
I
you're
think
good.
the best way to do this is if we go with a blank board. So now that we know pawns, the next one I want to take a look at is queens. Let's go from the
Queen.
least powerful piece to the most powerful piece.
Ooh. So the queen is
Queens,
the one that looks like a crown?
yeah. Well,
Oh.
one of the ones that looks like a crown. And
Oh.
queens are the most valued piece because they can move a lot. They can move as far as they want in all the diagonal directions, vertically and horizontally. So basically, they can just travel into straight lines however they want.
It's a little OP.
Yeah, that's why we only get one of them.
Ah. I see.
That's why you only start with one queen.
And why you want all the little dudes to promote.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's why you want to promote your pawn to a queen, because they're just really good at moving. They can get across the entire board. They can see almost everything. Like, they can get to, all of that. And so they'd be able to take on all of those squares.
Oh, it looks
Generally,
so
just
scary when you do it in red. It looks like blood.
No, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly it. Like, they're just
You're in my
queens.
crosshair, sucker.
Queens are a menace. You always want to, like, really respect them. It's like, yeah, I see you. I'm trying my best to not get in your way.
I see. Don't make the queen angry. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. So that and so because of that, the queen is also, like, the piece that you want, the second most important piece.
Ah.
The second most important piece. I'll get to the most important piece last.
Interesting.
Because it's the most complicated and
Very mysterious.
the most important one. So yeah, queens, straight lines, diagonally, orthogonally, can do all of them as far as you want.
Okay.
Now
And
that
it can capture that way too.
Yeah, they can capture that way too. So if my queen is, like, right there,
Mm-hmm.
your queen could go, "Oh, I see you. Hi, bye."
Ah. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So
I got it.
yeah. So that's queens. Let's just clear the board. And now that we've seen queens, let's look at rooks and bishops, because a queen is basically a rook and a bishop smashed together.
Oh.
Let's start with come on, bishops. Not bishops, rooks.
Is there
Rooks
like a certain history as to why the pieces are named the way they are, if you happen to know?
I am very certain that there is. I don't happen to know it.
Oh, interesting.
Not off the top of my head, anyways. One of the things to know about chess is that everything has centuries of history.
Mm.
It's this game is so old that yes, there is almost certainly a reason. It's very possible that reason has just been kind of lost to time.
That's actually kind of cool if that's the case.
So yeah, let's take a look at rooks. Also known in like the UK, they're also referred to as castles.
They do kind of look like towers. They're like castle towers.
Yeah, exactly. So rooks slash castle. Not, not castles. That's a different term. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Uh,
It's okay.
uh,
I'm just excited.
I I know that there's another term that's used that's using them. That there's another term for rooks in like the UK. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Someone who, yeah. Anyways, someone in chat could probably find out, but I'm not going to rely on Canis to find out because he's just sitting there in chat calling me old.
Old.
Hey B, yes, I would win this 1v1 easy. That is absolutely true. That's also definitely not why we're here. Welcome,
I'm
welcome.
just a defenseless little turtle. Please don't kill me, please.
So yeah, let's take a look at how rooks move. Rooks. Rooks can move orthogonally. They can move along columns and rows, but not diagonally.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, not as good as a queen because a queen can also do the diagonals, but it's still pretty good. Still pretty useful.
Very headstrong.
Yeah.
I see.
And so, yeah, orthogonally as far as they can, as far as you want to move. And that's how they capture as well.
Okay.
Tower, that's the one I was looking for. Rooks,
Tower.
also known as towers.
Oh.
That okay. Because,
It does look like
rooks
a
make a
tower.
castle
Like a
tower. Yeah,
princess
no,
tower.
that one's pretty straightforward.
Self-explanatory indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's an easy one to remember. Next up, bishops. Bishops are a bit of a special case. Like, how they move is very predictable, but how that ends up working is interesting. Because the thing is, bishops can only move diagonally.
Oh, I see now why you said they're like a combination of the queen,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
bishop,
So,
and the rook.
yeah, exactly. So a queen is a combination of a bishop and a rook because she can move the same way that both of them they can put together. But that makes bishops kind of weird and interesting to play with because that means whatever color they start on, they're stuck on it. Like,
Oh, so, huh.
yeah,
So, because it's on white, it sticks with white?
because it's on white, it's stuck on only white squares.
I was about to ask why the other piece is on like a different colored square, but now that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it gets really interesting because that means that your light color, bishop, that's how it's referred, light color squares. It's on the white squares. Your light color bishop will never meet my dark color bishop.
That's so weird.
They can never see each
Ah,
other because, like, even if they're right next to each other,
they can't reach each
they
other.
can't reach each other.
Ah, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. and it can be pretty easy to remember which one they are because the bishop looks like a bishop hat. Looks like one of those tall pointy hats that bishops wear.
Yeah, it does.
And
Okay.
that is just straight up where that name comes from.
Mm. Pointy hats, bishops. Okay. I'll remember
Mhm.
that.
And now you can, kind of see why you don't really want to promote a pawn into a bishop or a rook, because what's the point? The queen can do all of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, it's all coming together like puzzle pieces in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm starting to understand it now. Just a little bit more, yeah. So bishops only diagonally, but only on the colored square they're on. They can never cross the other color.
yeah,
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
Which is important because, like, if we go to a normal like full board, then uh, you'll notice. Is it going to show up? Okay, it is. uh, you'll notice that you start with a light color and a dark color bishop.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you have one for each color of squares. They just, never see each other. So it's often a thing where you want to take out your opponent's light color bishop, but still have yours. So that way your light color bishop doesn't have, his arch nemesis gets taken off the board.
That makes sense. Ah, it's like a little army.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And let's go to the last piece, which is probably the most confusing one, like the hardest one to keep track of how it moves. And that is the knight.
Oh, it's a horsey.
Yeah, the horsey. Easy to remember which one this is.
Yeah.
But, but it's also the hardest one to keep track of remembering how it moves.
Mm,
Because, like, all the other pieces so far have moved in, straight lines. Straight lines, easy peasy.
yes.
Knights, on the other hand, I'm just going to put this one forward. Knights move one square in one direction and then two squares in another direction, not diagonal, like always orthogonal.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, so they can get to those squares.
Hmm.
And to make it more complicated, unlike all the other pieces, like even the queen, for instance, say you have a queen here and pawn, and I don't know, like there's a bishop behind. This queen, it can move in all of these directions, but she can't like hop over pieces. She has to stop at the first one she encounters. So she can move and take this pawn, but she can't hop over it to get to the bishop.
Okay. So no leapfrog.
No leapfrog. And I'm mentioning that now because knights can leapfrog.
Oh my gosh.
Knights can just be in front of a whole bunch of pieces and they'll just go, whoop, I want to go there.
Oh.
And they can move over, no problem.
I see.
So, like, the L-shaped move combined with being able to hop over pieces makes them relatively difficult to keep track of.
So
Like, you
it's
have to
kind
sit
of
there and think
so
about
kind of
it.
like an L in a weird way, like L shape,
Yeah,
but
yeah, L-shaped.
oh.
2 in one direction, 1 in another direction.
And it could be like you start with 1 and then but you have to move 2 afterwards. Like you can't just
Yeah.
move forward 1 space and that's it.
No, it has to do the entire move. Has to do the entire L.
Okay. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was kind of confused for a second there, but I think I got it.
Mhm.
So yeah, either 2 spaces and then 1 space afterwards, or 1 space forward and 2 spaces afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has to constantly kind of like move 3 spaces.
Yeah, exactly. 3 moves. It's not moving through the spaces like all the other pieces are. He's just kind of hopping from one to
Oh,
the
okay.
other.
Oh, I can kind of see it if that's like a weird thing to say. Like I could kind of see what squares I would immediately put it on. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I got to him last, because he's kind of like knights are special for a lot of reasons.
Ah, they
and
special little
that's
horsies.
mhm. And that's why, under very, very rare circumstances that you'll almost never run into, there are sometimes, very rarely, occasions where when you promote a pawn, when you get a pawn all the way to the back, that you maybe want to promote to a knight. Sometimes.
Hmm,
Basically never happens. I've only ever had it happen to me once in a game.
that's so weird. I
So
wonder what.
for the most part, you can mostly ignore that, because it it very, very rarely comes up.
So it's just really depending on what the other person's trying to do or what you want to do, what piece you
Yeah,
choose.
it's 99.9% of the time you want a queen.
Hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
There's the very, very rare edge cases. Like, I've played hundreds of games on this site, and like I said, it's only happened once.
Ah, wonder if the person intended it.
Oh yeah, no, it's something that you like very intentionally do.
Okay.
It's like you do it because this is the only way that that your strategy ever works.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So that's the knight. L shapes, hops over pieces. Also makes it kind of funky, because if you want this knight to be on like a square right next to it, it takes 1, 2, 3 moves. 1, 2, 3 to get literally 1 square over.
No. Oh, that's
They're
so weird.
they're special.
It's so weird. Why? Why? Who decided this?
Who knows? Knights have been the way they are for like, again, like I said, this is an old game. Knights have probably worked the way they do for, I don't know, 600 years minimum, probably,
Hmm.
if I were to guess.
That's really interesting to know. That's really cool.
All right, and let's cover the last piece, and most definitely the most important piece, the king.
The mysterious king.
The king has the simplest and easiest movement arrangement, but he has a lot of special rules that that get applied to him.
Oh no.
So how kings can move, literally just 1 space in any direction. The king is slow.
Hmm.
He moves slowly, one at a time, wherever.
He's lethargic. Let him
Mhm.
be. Wants to chill.
Yeah. But the thing is that despite the fact that he really can't move that much, he is the most important piece. Because the goal of a game of chess is to put your opponent's king in a state called checkmate. Sure, you've heard the term before.
Yes, all the time. Checkmate this, checkmate that. What the heck is a checkmate?
Yeah, well, let's get into checks and checkmates. So, what? Let me think about how to phrase this. Okay, so the first thing to know is that when I when a piece moves, when your opponent moves a piece in a way that, oop, I didn't want to do that.
You knew.
Move back, please. When your opponent moves a piece such that, say, your opponent moves their queen, such that that piece can see your king, like can see it on their next move, could capture it.
Mm-hmm.
That's threatening. So the black queen is currently threatening the king. You know, it's
With
saying
words or weapons?
threatening to take it.
Ah,
Like
kidnapping.
if it comes to the next move, it'll come in and take.
Ah.
But here's the thing: if a piece moves so that there's a threat of your king being captured, that puts you in check. And if you're in check, you have to, like, rules of the game, make a move that stops the check.
Oh,
You
you
can't just,
have to rescue your king?
you have to rescue your king.
Oh, so is that like why they yell check just randomly?
Yes. Yeah. It's not
Oh.
random. That's a your king is under threat. You have to move it, or you have to put
Mm.
another piece in the way.
Oh.
So either I would have to, in this case, I would have to either move the king out of the way, or resetting, I would have to put another piece in the way
Okay. That's interesting. So,
to
hmm.
break the check, to get out of check.
Okay. I see.
And you win the game, you win a game of chess if your opponent is unable to get out, is in a position where they are unable to get out of check.
Mm.
If there is no move that they can make to get out of check, if they can't move their king to get out of the way, or if they can't take the piece that's threatening them, or if they can't block it, then that's checkmate. And you lose.
Oh.
So let's put this. This is the setup for one of the most this is, I think this is called, oh, is this fool's mate or scholar's mate? I forget. This is the fastest way to lose. This is what the board looks like at the end of the fastest way to lose a game of chess.
Oh, I see why.
Because things start, start like this, and white makes their first move. For some reason, they move this. Black moves like this. White moves like this.
And they expose their
And then
king.
they expose their king, and then the queen comes
Uh,
out, and there is no way, like there's no way nowhere for the king to go. Like he can't move, he can't swap spots with another piece.
Yeah.
The only place he could move is there, but
That
that
doesn't
doesn't
solve the check.
that that doesn't that doesn't solve the check. And there's no piece that can take the queen.
I
Like I can't
see.
take it. I can't take it. So that's checkmate because there's no way to get out of it.
So you say check to like warn the player, like you have to make your move with the king, and checkmate's like I beat you.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always wondered what the difference between check and checkmate were. Oh, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. And like yeah, formally speaking, like giving that indication of, of saying checkmate, I'm pretty sure like that's like just a built-in rule of the game. Like you have to say it. You have to say check
Okay,
your
so it's like
move.
okay, because like okay, that makes a lot more sense. I
Yeah.
understand.
Because doing something else, like ignoring it, would be an illegal move. Not allowed to.
Hmm. I see. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Oh, chess looks fun. Sounds very fun now. Oh, that's really great. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything's making a lot more sense now. Super interesting. I never thought. Like, I knew chess was complicated, but now it's like you have to be aware of so many pieces at once. My brain is already overloading just thinking about it.
Well, hold on, because there's two special moves that I want to
Ooh.
cover that are like special cases where pieces move in ways they wouldn't normally.
Oh? Special condition?
Special conditions.
Ah. I like special
So
conditions.
so the first one, and this is one that you'll see literally like all the time. This happens in like I'd say in like 95% of the games that I've played, someone will do this. Usually both players will do it. And how it works is that this special move is called castling. And
Castling?
castling works like this. If you have moved all of your pieces out of the way so that there's no pieces in between your king and your rook. So that's the first bit. There can't be any pieces in between. Like the rook has to be able to see the king.
Mm,
On the other side of the board, it'd be those three pieces.
that's interesting.
So that's the first condition. You have to have all those pieces out of the way. The second condition is that neither the king nor the rook can have moved yet during the game. Like this has to be the first thing you do with them.
Can you repeat that? I don't think that processed.
Okay. So the first condition is you need to get all of the pieces out of the way. All of the
Okay.
pieces in between the rook and the king. So on this side of the board, you would have to, say we're going from a brand new state. First thing you'd have to do is you'd have to like move one of your pawns forward. So that way your bishop can move out. Your queen can move out of the way. And knights being knights, they're special. They just hop over
Mm-hmm.
and are fine.
Oh.
And so at this point, there are no pieces in between the rook and the king.
Okay.
And neither the king nor the rook have moved. And it's not that they have to be on those spaces, it's that they can't have moved
So just like
at
don't
all.
touch them at all for this
So
condition
like just
specifically.
yeah, exactly. So don't touch them at all. Like you can't even like move a rook and then move it back. At that point the rook has moved, you can't do it anymore.
Mm.
So
Okay.
once that has happened, you can then this is the only time that that your king can move 2 spaces. Your king moves 2 spaces towards the rook. So you would go to there.
Oh.
And then in the same move, as part of castling, you put your rook on the other side of the king.
Really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funky one. And like you can see it breaks a lot of rules of how they would normally move. Normally pieces can't move through each other. They're not knights. They can't do that. But when they
Oh.
castle, they can. And normally the king can't move 2 spaces, right? It can only move one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I understand it now. So like if you move the knight and the bishop on the left side first, can you still do the castling move just like on the other side?
Yeah. So I didn't mean to delete that pawn. So oh my god. Stop, please.
Horsey
There
just
we
wants a
go.
snack.
Okay, so on the other side of the board, if you want to do it, you would, for example, stay. Thank you. There we go. You would, for instance, move this pawn forward 2 spaces because it's its first move.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could move your bishop out because if you don't, if you don't move this pawn, this bishop has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It can only move like that. There's pawns in the way. Oh boy, he's stuck.
Oh boy, he's stuck.
So you move your pawn out of the way. So then you can move your bishop out of the way. And then you can move your knight because he can just jump over pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And so then again, there's no spaces, there's no pieces in between the king and the rook. And neither the king or the rook have moved. You would then move the king 2 spaces towards the rook, so it would be next to it. And then you'd put the rook on the other side.
Do you have to move 2 spaces to do the swap like that?
Yes, you have
Oh,
to,
okay.
but trust me, you want to.
Oh, okay.
This is generally considered a very good move most of the time.
Mm.
Like it's usually one of the goals of both players is to castle basically as quickly as they can.
Is it because it
Because
like gets the stronger pieces out in the front first?
it gets the stronger pieces out in the front, but it also gets your king to safety. It tucks him away. It takes him out of the middle of the board where he could be attacked from like any direction and in,
Mm.
and it puts him on one side of the board where it's kind of easier to defend. And it also puts him behind this nice wall of pawns, and he's got his rook buddy right beside him. This is pretty hard to attack.
Oh, I see.
Like it's pretty hard to you have to put a lot of effort into attacking this setup as opposed
Yeah.
to normally because you have to move pawns like this out to get your good pieces out. At this point, attacks could come from this side, they could come down the middle, they could come from this side. Oop, not like that.
That makes a lot of
Like that.
sense.
So generally you want the castle because it keeps the king safe.
Okay.
Generally, most of the time.
I see. Very sneaky.
Mm-hmm. So, I'll just show you what an ideal setup looks like. Like, if you had a bunch of moves in a row where your opponent just didn't do anything, what would you want the board to look like? You'd want these two pawns up front and in the middle. You would want your bishops out like that. You'd want your knights out like that, for example. And you would want to be castled.
Oh.
Because then your bishops, they're out in the open and they have space to move. Your knights can move out. They're covering each other, and your king is safe.
Oh, that looks like a pretty tough wall there.
Yeah. Yeah, but of course, not an ideal world. You're not going to get that because you don't get, 8 moves in a
Multiple
row.
moves. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean now.
So that's like ideally.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, you get something that kind of looks like that.
Yeah. Oh, this is a very strong defense.
Mm-hmm. And so that was castling and why you want to castle. You want a castle because it keeps your king safe.
Yeah.
The other special move is a pawn move. And it's called en passant, which is French
What?
for in passing.
In passing?
In passing is the literal translation of it, but the move, even in English, is called en passant.
En passant.
There you
I
go.
don't know if I'm saying
You
it
got
right.
Hey, you got it. You got it.
Yay.
And en passant can only happen if I have a pawn that's on like this rank on this row. So he's there. And then if the opponent moves a pawn 2 spaces forward so that like the 2 pawns are next to each other,
Mm-hmm.
if that move happens and my pawn is right there, then my pawn can take this pawn, even though they're next to each other, and pawns can't normally take next to them, right? But in this specific situation, stay there, please. The pawn can take and move like this and take this piece.
What?
He takes it in passing. He's passing by and he takes it.
Oh. So can you only do this with your first pawn, or can you do this multiple times in a game?
You can do it as many times as it comes up.
Oh, so if they're right next to each other, you could then do that.
Yeah. So it only comes up if the pawn, if the black pawn in this case that is moving moves 2 spaces. This has to be the 2-space move.
Mm.
So it has to be the first move that pawn did.
Oh, okay.
So that pawn moves 2 spaces, and at that point you can take like that.
I see. I think I kind of understand.
And you have to do it like immediately. It has to be the next move that you do. Like you can't play a bunch of other moves and then go, oh yeah, okay, now I'll do it.
Oh, so it's like a must.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not something that you have to do. You can choose not to. But if you're going to do it, you have to do it immediately. You can't leave it for later.
Oh, you can't just say like, "Oh, I'm not going to now, but later I will."
Yeah, no, exactly. It has to be now. Your next move.
What happens if you don't? You just can't perform the move anymore?
You just can't perform the move on that pawn
Oh,
anymore.
okay. I
And nothing
see.
changes, and the rest of the game plays on as is.
Hmm. Okay. I understand.
Yeah, and I bring this one up because it's a really situational one that does actually show up with some regularity that a lot of newbies just do not know about, and they get totally caught off guard when it does happen. They're like,
Yeah, it
haha.
does look. You just told me I could only move forward. What the heck?
Yeah, because it's one of these things that they go like, aha, I'm going to move my pawn forward 2 spaces so that your pawn can't take it there.
Like it's trapped. And
Yeah,
then it's just
it's
a
like,
yoink.
so I'm gonna move forward 2 spaces, because if I only move forward one, then you would take it. Instead, I'm gonna move forward two, and then your opponent goes, you forgot about this move, and goes there and takes it.
Just
And the
yoinks it.
new just yoinks it, and the newbie's sitting there going, "What was that? I've never heard of that. Like, what just happened? I thought I was safe." No, because there's like this one special rule that was invented a while ago.
That's actually funny.
Yeah, it's like a common like newbie mistake.
Cheeky little move there.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Oh, hi, Jen. Welcome to my stream. I saw the messages now. Oh, but this is great. It's so great. I'm gonna have to remember the pawn thing, though. That feels like something I can easily forget.
Yeah, it is something that is easy to forget. Don't worry. Like,
Mm.
no, nobody would blame you for forgetting about it.
I remember when my pawn is suddenly gone when I blink.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're like, oh no, it's been yoinked.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So I heard that also overall that white always goes first.
White always goes first.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm if that was true or not.
Yeah. White always gets the first move. And so
Oh,
generally, like up at like the highest levels of chess, once you get like really advanced, like super up there, white is considered to have an advantage just by default.
oh, because
Statistically
it goes
speaking,
first.
yes, statistically speaking, white has a bit of a higher chance of winning.
That's so interesting. That's really interesting. Like, because then how do you decide who chooses white or who's gonna play as white?
It's randomly assigned.
Oh, randomly.
It's random, like in a tournament setting, it's randomly assigned, uh and often it'll be like in match in sets of 3, like a best of 3 match.
Oh, okay.
Or there's 10 bazillion other ways of how it's done, but like it's pretty common for uh it's pretty universal for a swap to be made. So you play your first match and then switch colors and play again.
That makes sense to keep things fair.
Yeah, exactly. Because unlike more modern games where all sorts of things are done to balance the first move advantage, uh, can't really do that with a
Yeah.
game like with a game like chess, especially chess, which been around for 1,000+ years in its modern form. Uh,
You can't do power ups like in Ouroboros chess, like I saw you do.
yeah, exactly. You can't just give an extra little something to the first player. sorry, to
E-
black to balance it out. So yeah, it usually ends up being swapping places.
Okay, that makes sense. I always wondered why, like, people always say, like, white goes first. And it's just like, but do
White
you
goes first
win?
because white goes first.
just because. Just cause.
It
Just an
it
ingrained
just
rule.
is. It just is, and yeah.
But regardless, the first person to move technically has the advantage, even if that rule wasn't there. Or would that be just a weird
Yeah,
statistic?
first player, the first whoever gets to move first has a slightly higher chance of winning, and because white always moves first, it's white.
Ah, that makes sense.
At lower levels, like even at like the level that I'm at and a bit higher, it doesn't have that much of an effect.
Oh yeah, because it's
When
really up to the player at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not good enough for that difference to matter.
Well, like if we played right now, you would still win if you were black.
Oh
If
yeah,
you played
yeah,
as black.
exactly.
I'm just a newbie. Of course I wouldn't win. But that makes a lot of sense. I have a question though.
Oh yeah, of course.
How do you read a chessboard? Because I like initially I can see that's like G6 would be like this spot right there. But like sometimes people would add like letters in or like letters in front of it.
Yeah.
Just random ones.
That's by the way, if you like in order to like highlight things and arrows, you can like right click. Right clicking on a square
Ah,
should make it red. Uh we haven't started a game, so that's probably why
does it show for you?
I
Oh
think
no, it
if
doesn't.
we I think all right, now try. There we
Oh,
go.
it's not.
Let's see if it
Does it show?
uh doesn't look like it.
Oh no!
Oh, we've got two games going. Oh no, don't leave the room. I just wanna Okay. Anyways, yeah. So what were we saying?
Yeah, how to read a chessboard.
Oh right, reading a chessboard. Yeah. So chess notation is a thing. Because of course it
Oh,
is. Uh and so when you look at I'm just gonna quickly spam out like a sequence of moves so that we can get, get some
yeah.
stuff in the right bar. So for everyone watching, I'm just going to quickly spam out a standard E4 opening from white, and black's going to respond with the modern defense. So
Defense.
E4, G6. I'm flipped around because I usually play this as black.
Gotta do it backwards. Mirror your brain.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it really does get that thing where if I'm on the wrong side of the board, it gets confusing to me.
Rotate your
So
browser. I'm just kidding.
guys, there's a convenient button to rotate the board so black's at the bottom.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so E4, G6, knight to C3, bishop F7, bishop C4, knight F6, pawn D4. That's probably enough for this. So, um, so on the right bar, you see, you can see like 1 E4 G6,
Yeah.
2 C3, G7 with the little icons.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys. And actually, if you hit the gear real quick, hit the gear that's like right next to
Right
the
here.
bar.
Ooh. This.
It's like right above. Yeah, that guy. And then piece notation text. It's like
Oh yeah, that's what
5.
I meant.
No.
The weird
Yeah,
N and
exactly.
B.
Yeah. So that's referring to what pieces are moving. So
Mm.
so move 1, e4 g6. What that means is a pawn moved to e4 and then a pawn moved to g6.
How do you know if like pawn
Pawns
move?
don't get an extra letter in front because they're not important, and it's just assumed that if anything is happening, it's a pawn move.
Oof. Poor pawns.
Yeah, they're not important enough to get their own letter.
Ooh. Oh, that's so
But
mean.
then 2, you get nc3. N is knight. You'd think it would be K, except K is king.
Oh, that makes sense. You don't want to get them confused.
Yeah, exactly. And K basically has to be king, and the king is more important, so it gets K. So knight is stuck with N. So 2, knight, N, moves to C3.
Mm.
B, for bishop, moves to G7. And so on and so forth.
Oh, and do the like numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4 just show like each turn, like what it's
Yeah,
happened
1,
in each
2,
turn?
3, 4. That's counting what turn it's on, and then E6, E4, G6 are indicating what square it's on, because
Ah, I see.
like E4, this is the 4th row in column E.
So will a black rook piece always be at 8H? Or could you flip the board where it would be a white piece here?
This is how the board is always set up. The white pieces are always on rows 1 and 2. Black always starts on rows 7 and 8.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And an easy way to remember where the pieces start is that queens start on their own color. So the white queen starts on a white square. The black queen starts on a dark square.
Hmm. I
And
see.
they're 3 in from the center, so you place that and you know which sides are which.
Oh, okay.
And this kind of standardization is important because that means that you can have a lot of chess theory and talk about it, and everyone knows exactly what's going to be where.
Yeah. Oh, so like if I just saw a notation, just a bunch of letters and numbers and all that, I now know how to read it. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
good.
Yeah, the steps, the notation that you're seeing there, if you plug that in, that tells you exactly how the game is played every time.
Is that what I see like people at chess tournaments do? Like when they're writing on a piece of paper, they write down their own move.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Oh, because then I would look at the paper like on videos or whatever, and I would see this, and I'm like, what the heck? What's this
Yeah,
lingo?
that's the record for their own records of what happened that game. So they can
Mm.
go back and review it, and it's nice, really short notation, really compact of E4, G6, NC3, BG7. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. quick to write, and it works.
Ooh, I see. How do
And
you
then,
how do you remember where to put the pieces?
okay, yeah. So let's just rewind. And so the pawns, actually, let's remove this game and let's set up a position with a blank board. So we start with it's easiest to start from the corners and work your way inwards. So actually no, let's start with the queens so you know which way around. So the queens start 3 spaces in at the back, 3 spaces in, and whatever color the next square is, in this case, oh, you can't see this, can you?
No, I don't think I can. I just looked over and I was about to say something. Oh no. Oh
Okay,
yay! It's
there we
blinked.
go. There we go. I forgot to click load.
You're good.
Uh, so we'd go 3 spaces in
Mm-hmm.
from starting from the bottom left corner, 3 spaces in, and then the next one is a white square. So that means we know that the white queen goes there.
Oh.
And then across the board at the back, the black queen.
Oh.
And then the king goes next to the queen so that there's 3 spaces on either side so that, the king and the queen are in the center of the board.
Mm-hmm.
And then next to them are the bishops. And then the knights are the next ones out. And the rooks stand guard in the corners.
Oh, that's kind of easy.
Mm-hmm. And then all across the front,
Pawns.
pawns.
I see.
That's straightforward.
See.
And really, the only thing that you need to remember is, in order to, get it all started, is count 3 spaces in from the bottom left corner to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at, the 4th square, you look at what color that is. If it's a white square, the white queen goes there. If it's a black square, the black queen goes there.
Oh, so like just in case you have a board without any numbers, or do all
Yeah,
chess boards come with numbers?
that won't necessarily be there,
Oh, I see.
but that's how you set it up. That's how you can
Oh,
always
okay.
get it right. And that is actually something worth knowing, because even at my level, like if you get it kind of backwards, it will screw me up.
Oh no.
It will screw me up if we started backwards. This is where you start with the black queen on a white square, and if you build it all up from there, I probably, and assuming that the letters and numbers aren't there, I probably won't like immediately notice. But
Until
in the
it's
back
too
of
late.
my but in the back of my head, like I'll be sitting there going, something's off. This doesn't feel
Yeah.
right. I won't be able to figure it out, and I'll go, oh wait,
I done goofed.
yeah, the board is
Oh,
set
I
up backwards.
see. I see. Okay, so yeah, that makes it easier to remember to know like the dark piece goes on the dark square, the light piece goes on the light square. Just make sure you count from the
Yeah,
corner, from the bottom corner.
count from the bottom corner, see what the 4th square is, and put the queen on its color.
Okay. I won't
And then
forget that.
once you've got that, like I said, the other queen goes across the board.
Hmm.
King goes beside it.
Then the bishops.
Yep, bishops go next. Oop,
Then the
not there.
knights.
Then the knights,
And the rooks.
and then the rooks,
I remember.
and
I
then pawns
remember.
all across the front.
Because they're worthless. No, just kidding.
They're not quite worthless.
They don't get their own letter, so of course they are. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
There is actually like kind of scoring, kind of ish.
Score?
Score. It's not like an actual like score. It's never used to decide like who's winning.
Mm.
Well, kind of is. It's used as an indication of like who's better off in any given position
Hmm.
to help keep track. And basically, you don't need to remember this. Like, don't worry about it. It's really not important. The queen is worth 9 points. Rooks are worth. We're just messing stuff up all over the place. Queen is worth 9 points. Rooks are worth 5 points. Knights and bishops are worth 3 points. Pawns are worth 1.
Oh. So it's like only important to remember for like competitive.
It's only really important for like analyzing the board and going, okay,
Oh.
you'll hear it phrased as points of material.
Oh, that makes sense when you say it like that.
Yeah, points of material. And actually, it's noted if you look at the top, right above the board, where it shows what pieces black has, and you
Yeah.
notice that it says plus 22.
Yeah.
That's because right now, assuming normal setup, black has 22 points, extra points of material on the board because black has all of these pieces still on the board.
Oh, okay. I
So
see.
by material, black would be plus 22 right now.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense also now.
And like when it comes to like watching chess events and stuff like that, it's always used in relation to white. So it wouldn't be black plus 22. This state would be referred to as minus 22. That is to say, white is down 22 points of material.
Oh.
If it's in the
That's so weird.
minuses, black is winning. If it's in the pluses, white is winning.
That's kind of confusing, but I think I kind of
Generally
understand
speaking.
it.
Yeah, like you honestly, like, if you hadn't like specifically mentioned it and asked, I wouldn't have even mentioned it because you honestly don't need to know it.
It's still good to be aware of it, though.
It's good to be aware of, but it doesn't affect the game really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's for analyzing more than it is playing.
Ah, I see. Okay, okay. I think I get it. Oh man, chess now looks 10 times more intimidating.
Yeah, that's how it generally tends to work. Yep. There's the exciting period and then there's the scary period.
Like, oh no. Because I have to be aware of every single piece and how they move and what can I do and then the weird conditions and oh my god. Could you explain a little bit about chess openings? Because I hear that more often than anything.
So I'm getting there.
Ah, okay.
We'll get there. I just want to make sure you get everything else before we get into like actual like strategy.
Sir, yes, sir. I got it.
So now tell you some basic principles that will help you understand what people are doing and why you do it. This will help you understand why openings are the way they are.
Okay. I'm excited.
So the first principle that this is widely accepted and has been for hundreds of years. And it's like it's a basic thing. There have been, there's been some revolutions and there's some challenges to it, but it's still generally pretty true. And the general truth is you want to control the center of the board.
Mm.
Specifically, you want to control these 4 squares right in the center.
4 squares.
Right in the middle of the board. If you control these, generally speaking, you are in a better position than your opponent. So what do I mean by control? Control means that you either have pieces on those squares or you have pieces that can take anything on those squares.
Oh, I think I kind of know what you mean.
So, for instance, the most common first move is the E pawn gets moved 2 squares forward to
Mm.
E4, because that way it's in one of these central 4 squares and it attacks another one of them.
Just in case someone else tries to get into the center.
Yeah, so if someone
Oh.
else wants to go on that spot, then that pawn could take it.
Mm.
So
I see.
that's why a lot of opening strategies start with E4. This is the most common first move.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
And using chess notation, because a lot of this stuff it's literally the opening is E4
E4.
because it's the E pawn, white's E pawn, moving to E4.
Yeah. Okay. And then that'd be, if you were doing this in a turn, you just write that down. E4. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And then one of the I think it's the most common response is E5 from
Ah.
black. And black's doing the exact same thing. They are
Yeah.
putting one of their pawns on one of these central squares and controlling the other one.
Ah, and since they can't do anything to each other, this is a good position to be.
Yeah, exactly. Since they can't do anything to each other, they just, sit there and sit awkwardly. And
Just
it
staring at each
becomes
other.
it becomes a very central principle is how does this evolve? How does it break down? How does it change?
Ah, I see. Oh no, this is complicated. Just in 2 moves, the game is already like, oh, what do I do? Oh no.
Well, so
That's really fun.
let's go from here. So your goal is to control these 4 squares.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next move you make as
Um,
white?
do you move your bishop or another pawn?
So moving a bishop is all right. Like you can move your bishop out to here, and that would help control this one. But your bishop is honestly, it's kind of like just hanging out by itself there. It doesn't really have any help. Like you can do it, and you
Mm.
probably will do it later, but not right now. One of the most common next move is you play out your knight,
The knight?
and you do this because remember he can just jump over.
Oh, and he can
He can jump over, and so now this pawn is sitting on one of the central 4 squares
yeah.
and attacking this square, and now your knight is doing 2 things. One, it's attacking black's pawn,
Yeah.
and it's also attacking this central square.
Oh, I see. So if you need to, you could take that pawn out of there or move the knight into
Yeah,
the center.
yeah. But if you do that now, then of course the pawn is just gonna.
Yeah. It's gonna take it.
So, but of course you're not moving twice in a row. So what often happens next is in response to this, black will take their own knight. They'll
Oh
take this
no.
one and they'll move it in because now this knight is attacking this square
Yeah.
along with their pawn. So now you have two pieces that are staring at this square if anyone wants to move into it. And it's defending this pawn.
Right.
So that white can't just go in and take because then black will take your knight. And you don't
Yeah.
want that. You don't want to give up your knight just to get a
Just to,
pawn.
yeah, just to take out a pawn. No, that makes sense. Oh, what the no? What do you do? What do you do then?
So then it evolves from there. I maybe for example, I maybe now you play out the bishop.
Ah,
And maybe black responds with taking out this knight to attack your pawn in the center. So what
mm,
do? Well, you do what black did to you. You take out your bishop to defend that one.
I see.
Now, this is an ideal, this is just one way it could go. There's 10 bazillion variations, of course.
So you constantly have to like think about defending and
Yeah, so
attacking.
you're defending your own pieces and you're attacking your opponent's pieces. And
Oh no.
you generally don't want to have one of your own pieces just kind of lying around with no backup. Like
Yeah.
for instance, right now, this bishop is just sitting there. He doesn't have any backup. There's nobody defending him. So,
So would you
and
use, if I can guess, the pawn at b2 to protect that bishop?
yeah, you could play that forward. And now that pawn is
Mm.
protecting.
Ah.
Now, in this particular situation, I'm not too worried about the bishop being unprotected because black doesn't really have a good way of attacking it.
Yeah.
Like he could technically do this, but then I take with my pawn, and then if he really wants, he could take with that, with his knight. But then I'd take with my knight,
Oh
and then if he
no.
really wants, he could then follow up and take with his queen. But then he's sacrificing his queen to my bishop,
Oh my
and
god,
he
you can
just
see
and
20
and
moves
he just
ahead.
gave up his queen for basically nothing. So
Oh.
doesn't really want to do that.
Yeah. What the heck? I'm just thinking like, oh my. Every piece can have like 20 different consequences if you move it to the wrong spot.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, but it's still very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that you're thinking about that a bit, let's take a look at one important concept of like a move that you will typically see, a tactic, we'll call it, a tactic that you will commonly see.
Okay.
And in this particular case, let's just say that like that pawn's there. Like this is a pretty this is a position that you could totally just see on the board. It's just a
Yeah.
thing. And you know, black plays out their bishop there, for instance. Now, I, as white, have, I have a bunch of choices for what I can do. Whole bunch. But the two ones that immediately come to mind are I could castle to
Right.
keep my king safe.
Oh, yeah, because you haven't moved any of
Because I
you
haven't
haven't
moved
king yet.
and they're both out and both those pieces are out of the way.
Ah.
Or the other one is I could do what's called I could pin this knight to their queen, because you really don't want to lose your queen. Like, you want it to be an even trade at least.
Okay.
If you're going to lose your queen, at least usually want it to be for their queen. So what can you do? Well, I, as white, could take this bishop and move him out to there. Now, why would I do that? I
Ye-
do that because, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
I was probably gonna say something dumb, anyways.
What? No. Why would I do this? Why would I put this guy here?
Because now you have access to the knight, the queen, and also the pawns can't reach it. I
So
think.
you're thinking in the right direction, but there's a big obvious thing. And that's, what if they moved this knight somewhere? What if they want to move this knight? Because, like, he's in a good spot. He's got a bunch of places he wants to go. He wants to go there, he wants to go there. Maybe, for whatever reason, I want to take this and do something funky. Well, say I were to black were to move him there. What's this? Oh,
Oh.
now my bishop can take his queen because he moved his knight out of the way.
Ah, and you can get rid of the queen because it's like one of the harder
Yeah.
pieces to get rid of.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of the more powerful ones. And so the black player really doesn't want to move his knight right now.
Yeah.
Like, he can if he really wants to, but he probably needs a very, very good reason to do so.
Okay.
So that knight is pinned to the queen.
You can't
Because
move it.
Yeah, can't move it.
Ah.
Not because of, any rule of the game, but because moving it would be really bad.
Yeah.
Because you'd be losing your queen.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
And and like, pinning things to the queen is pretty useful. Like, that's a pretty good move to make. There's only really one more type of pin that is better. And that's if I'm just gonna arbitrarily move things around. Give me a sec. Let's just, I don't know. Let's get rid of you. Just wanna put that there. And that is if you can pin something to the king. So, say my bishop's right here, somehow. And I move him out right here to attack the queen.
Yes.
Now, he doesn't really like that. Doesn't want their queen to be taken.
Yeah.
Now, they'd really like to move their, there's a couple of ways they could respond to that. One, they could take the piece. they could go, oh, I'm just going to take it. But if you do that,
Then the knight.
I'm just going to take with my knight.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You're trying to not lose your queen. So, maybe how about I just move it away? How about I move it somewhere else? But here's the thing. You can't.
Because you gotta protect the king.
You can't. You are legally, moving the queen there is an illegal move. You are not allowed to do that because you're not allowed to make a move. You're not allowed to make a move that puts your king in check.
Oh, so you can't purposely put yourself in check.
You can't purposely put yourself in check.
Oh, I see.
So this queen can't move out of the way because she's stuck pinned to the king.
And you render the queen useless.
Basically.
Oh, and then you could just eat up the other pieces on the side without worry.
Yeah. I mean, there is one move that black can do here to get out of the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't really want to take. And you can't move out of the way. But you can put another piece in the way.
Yeah.
Because now this bishop can't see the queen. There's a pawn in the way.
Oh, you have to be aware of so many things. Because what if you forget you have your own pieces that could save you like that?
Yep.
Oh. See, it's like a weird spider web.
Oh yeah. 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 So in that case, you would want to block it with a pawn because black really doesn't want to lose their queen. They'd rather and I don't want to make this move. Because if I go there, then that's not very good.
Nope.
That's not very good for me at all. And it's also a good move because now that pawn is attacking the bishop. And you don't mind losing a pawn. Whatever.
No. Yeah, goodbye, pawn.
If they don't move this bishop, then you just go, yeah, sure, whatever. It's a pawn. Om nom 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 nom. Sure, take it. Whatever. Don't care.
Little munchies.
Yeah, exactly. Pawns are expendable most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, that's so interesting. I love it. I love chess. I'm gonna say it now. I'm scared of it, but I love it.
Yeah, so that's pins. That's what happens when you pin a piece. It's basically a pin is basically saying if they move this piece, they're going to lose something. They're going to lose something else.
Yeah, something valuable.
Yeah. You can't really pin things to a pawn because they're going to go, why wouldn't I just move it out of the way?
Yeah.
You can't pin you can't pin a queen to a pawn because they're going to go, well, I'd rather you take the pawn.
Yeah.
I'm just going to move out of the way. Take the pawn if you want. I don't care.
Ah, I see. Just don't touch my queen. Take anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm. And so let's take a look at the next thing.
I'm learning so much. Thank you, Professor Fen.
Let's put that back. It's just, I don't know.
A lot to remember. Yeah, it's a lot to remember. My brain is like loading screen, downloading very slowly. It's getting there. I'm starting to understand. It doesn't look like a bunch of random symbols anymore.
So here's another, just random. This position could happen. I've probably seen this exact position before, but I just kind of threw pieces out there
Mm-hmm.
to get a bit of a kind of realistic look at what the board could look like early on.
Yee.
So the next thing that I want to show is fork. It's called a fork.
A fork?
A fork. When you
Hmm.
fork a piece. Well,
That's
you
rude. You stab
yeah,
it with a fork.
it does sound rather rude. It is quite rude, actually.
A rude name for a rude move.
Nobody likes getting forked.
In real life and in chess.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking I'm gonna mess up my perfect board and I don't care.
You're all good.
So there, and say for example, the queen is out here. Let's put it out here, whatever. And there's a bishop there.
Mm-hmm.
So two pieces that are decently valuable out in the open. They're not they are defended, they've got buddies backing them up. But then white moves his knight here, does that. And now he's attacking two pieces at once.
Ah.
And it's called a fork because it's like a fork in the road.
Mm.
And black has to decide which way they're going.
Yeah, like which piece they want to save, kind of like
Which
that.
piece they want to save, yeah. Because
Oh,
if they move their queen out of the way, then I could go, nom 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 nom. I want your bishop.
tasty bishop.
And they really can't move their bishop out of the way. Well, they can, but if they do, then I get the queen.
Ooh, the higher quality steak.
Exactly. And so chances are they're going to move that queen out of the way. They want to
Yeah.
get that queen out of Dodge.
Yeah, get out of there.
Yeah, they want absolutely nothing to do with, just losing their queen on the spot.
That's still like a sucky position either way, because you're losing a
Yeah,
valuable
exactly.
piece.
Yeah, so here is the nightmare thing. Like here's the nightmare fork. I'm just gonna move a couple of guys out of the way. We'll just, put them in stuff. So imagine this is the position.
Mm-hmm.
That this is the position. Sorry. I could move, and if it's white's turn, white could move there with his
Oh.
knight because now he's forking the queen and he's
And the
attacking the king.
king.
So the
I
king
didn't
is
see
now in
that.
check. The king is now in check. You are now in check, which means you have to move. You have to get out of the check. So what are the ways to do that? Well, let's go through the list. Can you take the attacking piece? No. You don't have any pieces that are in a position to attack this knight. Can't get to him. Can you put a piece in the way? Well, no, it's a knight.
No. Yeah.
Knights can just hop over pieces. They
Mm-hmm.
don't care. They don't care if there's something in the way. They're just going to go where they want anyways.
They don't give a fuck.
So your only choice is to move the king.
Yeah.
So now you have to move the king, and now the knight,
Goodbye, queen.
and pick up the queen. And even if you immediately do that and lose the knight, you don't care. You just traded your knight for their queen,
Oh,
which
no.
is
I didn't even see that when
almost,
you were doing it initially.
yeah, that's what makes it tricky is you can just walk into them by mistake and it really sucks. Like
Mm.
I have an ongoing game right now. I did it and I did get forked. It wasn't quite that bad. It was between a rook and my queen. But that still means I'm losing a rook. It,
Yeah.
it still stings. Like I'm pretty sure making the mistake of letting him do that. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna lose that game because I did that.
Ah, I see. That yeah, I can see why you call it the nightmare fork.
Yeah, and in that particular case, I in that particular case, it's called a royal fork because
Oh.
king and queen.
Yeah.
If if somehow you also get a rook in there, that's called a family fork.
Oh, a family
Because you're getting the
fork.
full family.
Why were the entire family gonna be cannibalized together? Oh no. We're all gonna be the dish for a little horsey. Oh, I see. I see. Oh no. That's a scary horse.
And that's what, yeah, that's what makes horses, that's what makes the knights uh potentially so deadly. E- I mean, the reason that they're not worth as much is because they can't move too far.
Yeah.
But they can move in a way that not even the queen can.
Yeah, very tricky. Tricky little horsies.
Mm-hmm.
Now their particular movement makes sense because if you had it just move like any other piece, it'd be kind of like easy to have a game stall, I would assume.
Yeah, and knights would just honestly be just kind of bad.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I kind of
Hey,
understand now.
Andreas. Welcome, welcome.
Chess is very fun and intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Oh, I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna start playing chess.com a lot more. Just to figure it out.
Yeah. Andreas, want to play against me maybe? Sorry, not tonight's not a viewer versus uh night. I'm currently teaching Kame here how to play. So,
Yee! I'm a
I'm
total
afraid
newbie.
afraid I'm gonna have to decline tonight. Might do another stream like that in the future, but that's not tonight.
I would love to be good enough to be able to play Ouroboros chess.
Oh, or Boros chess is a bit different because it's got its own rule set and special
Yee.
things.
Yee. But it'll still be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that's forks, and like they're best they're best with knights because of how knights in particular move, but like rooks can do them. Uh, rooks could do them. Bishops. Hell, even sometimes you can fork things with a pawn.
Oh, yeah.
Like there are particular instances where like a knight and a bishop end up like in a space like that, and so then you push a pawn forward, and oops, well, one of them's going.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so that's forks,
Forky
and
forks.
and let's see. Pins, forks. Oh yeah, here's another good principle to know. And I'm going to borrow a term from a from the most popular chess YouTuber to describe it because he just does it better than me. But
Ooh.
it's a good one to know. Uh, and it's the term is danger levels.
Danger levels.
Danger levels, coined by Gotham Chess. If you want to learn about chess, go watch his stuff. Dude's fantastic. Um, and danger levels is the idea that uh, again, I'm just gonna play out a bunch of moves. Blah 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 blah. Move out like that. Move out like that. Da, 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 da. Moves like that. So on and so forth. Okay, so danger levels is an idea for avoiding uh, getting one of your own pieces captured. Oh, got a redeem from Andreas who requested an Ara Ara. Ara Ara.
Oh my gosh. Such a manly RR.
Well, that's the Ara Ara. I also have Ada Ada, which is a different redeem.
Ah, I see. Very aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm inserting my dominance right now.
Depends on what experience you want. Whether you want the Ara Ara or you want the Ada Ada.
That's funny.
Yeah, so danger levels. And basically the principle of danger levels is if they attack something, if they attack one of your pieces, say, you know, this knight moves here. So at this point, their bishop is attacking your knight.
Not my horsey.
Let's just say that pawn's there so that that knight's just completely undefended.
Mm-hmm.
And so that bishop is attacking your knight. You don't want him to do that. You do not want to lose. I'm just gonna retcon this movement there. Just yeah. You do not want to lose your knight, but you also don't want to move your knight. And you don't want to block anything. Like you don't want to really move anything to get in the way. You just want him to sit there, but he's being attacked. Well, you go danger levels. And you say, okay, well, sure, you can take my knight if you so want. I'm just going to ignore that. But I am going to move my bishop here to attack your queen. So if you take my knight, I'm going to take something that's more valuable of yours.
Oh, that's the meanest taunt I've ever seen.
But yeah, and you sacrifice your knight and you say, go ahead, take it. I know you won't because you don't want to lose your queen.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Cheeky, cheeky.
And so you don't even try to defend the knight. You just say, okay, I guess we're playing chicken now. And you're going to blink first because you don't want to lose your queen. So they move out of the way and you go, okay, now that that's gone, now I'll move it.
Ah, I see. I see. That's very, very sneaky.
And so yeah, it's danger levels because basically you're making a more dangerous threat than they are.
Oh, that makes sense.
They're pulling out a knife on you,
You
and
pull
you're
out a gun.
responding by pulling out a gun.
Like, don't even try it, bucko. Oh, I see. I see. That's really cool. Very dangerous.
But one thing that's really important to note is, like, say again, we're in the exact same situation, except in this case, the king is here instead of here. And that changes things because now, if I play out the bishop here and say, well, if you take my knight, I'm going to take your queen. Black goes, no, you're not. And he takes the knight, and it's check. And you
No.
now have to move, your king instead of taking the queen.
Le rude. Oh, I see. Oh no. Like,
And so,
oh no.
now, I mean, this isn't the best move, but you move there, and he goes, "Oh, okay. Well, now that that's done with, and I've taken the knight. I'm just gonna move the queen out of the way."
I see. Oh, it could backfire on you really quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, exactly. Oh, that reminds me. Uh, an important thing about check and castling.
Yee.
I knew there was something I was forgetting about castling. Uh, so if you remember, castling is where you move your king 2 spaces and put your rook on the other side.
Yes.
You cannot castle out of check.
Oh?
If you are in check and you still haven't moved your king and this rook, and all these spaces are still empty, even if you would normally be able to castle, you can't castle out of check.
Hmm. That's
It's not
interesting.
it it's not a defensive move that you can, hold on to until you're in check and then move him to safety. You have to do it
Um,
ahead of time.
interesting.
And the other thing is you can't castle if one of the spaces that the king would move to or through is threatened. So say this, you know, say that pawn was out of the way. And so now you've got this queen staring down the middle of the board. You can't castle because your king would move. Part of that is moving your king 2 spaces, but the space in the middle is threatened.
Oh, that's a little confusing.
Yeah. So it's basically, if castling would put your if you would be moving your king through a threatened square, you can't do it.
Um, I see. I think I
So
kind of understand.
so in some circumstances you can deny your opponent the ability to castle because you sit there and you go, you can't castle because I'm threatening one of the squares that you'd have to move through to do it.
Hmm. Okay.
Sorry, I forgot about that one, but
No,
that's an
you're
important
good.
one that you can also get screwed on.
Yeah, that definitely looks like it. I see. Interesting. So I do need to go to the bathroom.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm going. I'll be right back.
Y'all are stuck with me now. just me. How's everyone doing? Any learning happening? People enjoying it? You good? Let's put on. Yeah. We're just waiting, 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 waiting for Kame to come back. Da 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 da. Waiting for the turtle to come back. Any second now. We'll get there. It'll happen. Just hold on a bit. I really got to get all of my toggles hooked up. That one's working. That one's working, of course. That one's working. Oh, I love this one so much. Oh, like, fucking love it. Got that guy. Let's see. All my normal ones. Take the jacket off. Hide the antlers. Does this one still have... It does not. At one point I had a... I guess I got rid of that. I guess I disabled those ones, you know, at the end of January. I did have Christmas lights on my antlers, but those are gone because it's not really the season for those anymore, you know.
No Christmas lights?
Yeah, it's no longer the season for those.
It's Christmas every day. What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Just let me let me re-enable the toggles.
Damn right.
Okay, fine. Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'll re-enable those toggles. They're somewhere in here.
While you do that, I'm gonna eat my mushroom powder.
What?
Exactly. I'm just kidding. No, not that type of mushrooms. It's a focus supplement I eat. It's really good. Highly recommend.
Oh. Do I? I don't think I have anything assigned to this. Let's just toggle and toggle those temporarily. Yeah, there we go. Christmas lights.
Christmas! Yay! Oh, they look so good.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, keep them on forever. Never take them off.
Oh yeah. Turtle
Pretend I'm holding a gun to your head. Never take them off. I demand you keep them on for the rest of your life.
I don't know the rest of my life. That's an awfully long time. But you know, I'll keep them on. I'll keep them on for now.
You better. I'm watching the stream. I'll know if you take them off.
Yeah, let's actually put them to full put them to full brightness. There we go.
So pretty! Oh my god! Who needs a Christmas tree when you got antlers?
Right? Yeah, I this was like honestly something I thought of like the instant like this was I had this idea from the very, very beginning of like the concept of what my model would look like. I was like, I need to do this.
Heck yeah. They're right there, might as well.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I love it. Do you have one for Halloween?
I do not have one for Halloween yet.
The
Yet.
gasp. Better be a yet. Okay, I'm all mushroom focused up.
All right. Uh, Let me think. Just thinking about what else. What else I've got to talk about really. Right, yeah. So now that you understand, some of the concepts, at least at base level, you get what they're about anyways.
Yee.
Uh let's go and take a look at some opening stuff. How do
Woo!
openings work?
I'm
Openings
excited.
are the two big opening principles basically are control the board, develop your pieces. Really as easy as that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the goals are generally to control the center four squares. Like I said before, control the center, and you can control an awful lot of what is happening on the rest of the board. And you want to get your major pieces developed. When I say major, I mean like these guys. The rooks
Yee.
are a bit harder to develop because they're on the edges and they're a bit boxed in, and so they're generally, not considered like they're a lesser concern when it comes to development. So what happens first? Well, this is one of the most common ones. You'll run into this an awful lot. You'll see it an awful lot. You might want to play it yourself. Pawn e4. And
E4.
it's just solid because you get a pawn into the middle, and it gives you avenues for your light squared bishop to get out, and later down the line, your queen.
Mm.
And black often wants to do the exact same thing
Yes.
for the exact same reasons.
Like a copycatter.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some like mirror variations that will go like a whole bunch of moves before like completely symmetrical.
Yeah.
It does happen. I don't like playing those variations, but ugh, been talking a lot. Nobody redeemed a hydrate, so I have to do it myself. Mm.
Yeah, hydrate, sir.
There we go. Okay. Voice was
Chug
failing
it.
on me for a
I'm
second.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Right. Yeah. So pawn e4 is a common one. Uh, d4 is another common one. Those are the two most common first moves.
Mm.
And black can often respond, the exact same way. So the basic principles is you want to take up space on the board. Like you want to control as much of the board as possible. Because if you're controlling the board, then your opponent's going to have an awful lot of troubles moving their own pieces to safe locations.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a bit cramped, and that makes things difficult for them. And yeah. And you want to get your knights and your bishops out. Classic theory says you want to get your knights out before your bishops. That's the sort of classic approach.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this is like literally usually when you get into stuff like this, like the variation, the name of the opening is literally four knights opening.
Yeah. They look cute all lined up like that.
And then you develop your bishops out. Note that this knight right now is pinned to the king. So he literally can't move even if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Uh you usually want to castle early if you can do it.
I
And
see.
you want to get your bishops out and active. So as a general rule, uh, knights like to be on squares where they can move to where they can be in spots where they can control a lot of stuff at once. You know, where they can reach out because they can't move very many places. So they like it when they can move to all of them. An aggressive knight that can move to, to all of these spots is like the colloquial term, the slang is it's an octopus knight
An
because
octopus.
he's got his arms out everywhere.
He's gonna grab you.
He's got his arms out everywhere. He's gonna grab you, and there's 8 spots he can move to.
Ooh, no fair.
So knights like being in spots where they can, move everywhere. This knight isn't very happy
Mm.
because a number of these spots go to places that he doesn't really like being. Knights do not like being on the edge because
Oh,
a knight on the edge of the board only has 4 spots he can move to.
that makes sense why he should probably be at the center.
Yes, and knights like being in the center.
Ah.
Bishops like being on the long diagonals. They like being in spots where they can shoot down as far as they can.
Yeah.
They get really sad when they're in positions like this. This is a sad bishop.
Sad boy.
He can't. He doesn't have very much of a view.
Aw.
He's not very happy right now. This guy is not doing very much for you.
I see. Gotta keep the
This
bishop
one,
happy.
this one is pretty happy. He can, if this guy gets out of the way, then he can see a bit further, and he can move to there. He can shoot all the way down there. So this one's happy. This actual this formation where you've got like 3 pawns in a bit of a triangle and the bishop there. This is called a fianchetto. That's an Italian term.
Being keto.
A fianchetto. And so this bishop is fianchettoed.
Oh.
He's in his he's in a sort of like he's in a bunker. Bunker that
Oh.
only he can really shoot out of, and he's protected from everything else.
I see.
It's like knights can't get close because of the pawns. You know, the queen could go out, but then she's just gonna get attacked.
Yeah.
So that's where bishops like being.
Protected.
Rooks rooks like being on open files. They like it when there's just they like it when there's no pawn in the way to get in their way.
Mm-hmm.
And so often, in order to do this, there'll be situations where you'll go and you'll trade pawns off, and you'll get get pawns out of the way. So then you've got a really happy rook on this open file who can see all the way to the end. And
Oh.
often what you'll often see in games like this happens a whole bunch is just is you'll get rooks staring each other down on an open file.
They're like, hello, hello.
Yeah, and in situations like this, you generally don't want to be the one to take.
Yeah.
You generally don't want to be the one to trade them off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you also don't want to leave them undefended, because now this rook could come down and it's back rank checkmate, because king's got nowhere to go. He can't get out of the way. He can't take because it's too far away, and there's nobody to block him. He literally just, these pawns get in the way of
No.
him, and so you get checkmated. So often what you do is at some point you move that. So if they do try this, you just go, oh, okay, I'm good.
I'm safe. That makes sense. Alrighty.
So yeah, rooks like open files. Bishops like long diagonals that aren't janky and off the grid. And knights like being octopus.
Give them their sea legs.
Pawns like sticking together. Pawns like to be in blocks where they can support each other, so that this guy gives that guy strength, and so they all support each other. And the queen basically likes to be anywhere.
Yeah.
The queen can just run all over the board. She likes to have support, though. Like, she can't do an awful lot on her own.
Yeah, she can't be reckless.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, exactly that. And that's also why, like, at the beginning of the game, you don't want to bring that back. You don't want to put your queen out too fast. You don't want to immediately just go and go, yeah, got my queen out, because then she becomes a target. And then you have to waste a lot of time running away. It's like, oh, okay, well, can't go there. I want to go there. And they go, oh, well,
you're trapped.
Crap. Now I gotta run away again. And they go, well, okay, let's keep trying to get the queen. So you don't want to take the queen out too early. She may be the most powerful, but that also makes her a target.
Yeah. I see. Oh my gosh, it's so much to keep track of.
Yeah.
I could see why people like spend decades writing books about chess.
Yeah.
And decades reading those books.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
There's a lot to it.
Oh my lordy. So many pieces.
And like, I even in situations like this, like, I'm telling you what generally happens most of the time. Like, I'm saying, usually you want your opening involves directly controlling the center. But when I'm playing black, that's not my preferred opening. Like, if my opponent goes e4, starts with the most standard move, I do not play e5. It's the most common one, but it's not what I do. I do one that looks a bit weird if you're not familiar with it. I play g6.
Hmm.
You know,
Why?
Ben, what the fuck? You said, you want to control the center of the board. You
And you're
want
over
to
there.
develop, you want to, what's the deal? Why that doesn't do that? And that's because I do it because this is what's called the modern opening. This is the modern defense.
Oh.
And it's the it's it was the first theory in another school of thinking, the modern school of thinking, as opposed to the classical or the postmodern, because of course there's phases.
All the
uh,
phases.
and the modern defense the modern defense says, well, we can still control the center of the board. We'll just do it from the edge. We'll
Huh.
do it by attacking and looking over the center from the edge of the board. Oops.
Oh, it's like you're a snake and you're poking your head out the rock. I'm
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Yeah. And so you do things like, not that. You do things like this, and you don't push it all the way forward, but you just poke it forward enough to do that. And basically, the modern defense says, okay, you can, do whatever you want, expand out massively, do all that stuff. I'm going to make myself a little fortress.
Oh.
I'm going to make myself a fortress, and then you have to try to attack me. Go on. Come on. Try and do it. And the idea is that in doing so, at some point, your opponent makes a mistake and they overextend a bit. At some point,
Oh.
they push a bit too hard, and you go, you extended too far. Now I'm just gonna crush you.
I baited you.
Now, yeah, exactly. You bait them into attacking a bit harder than they intended to, than they thought they were. You go, okay, now you've overextended. Now I'm gonna punish your weaknesses that you've exposed because you were attacking me too hard.
Uh, see. You're pulling aggro.
Exactly. You're you literally you set yourself up in a position to basically kite them in a way. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing as kiting. You kite them out of position and they go, oh crap, this isn't where I want to be. You go, too late.
Can't do anything about
Can't
it.
do anything about it now.
Sneaky. I see. I'm just like looking at the board and I'm thinking, oh my god, I would not win. I would not win. I don't even know what to do at this point. I'll just look at it and like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm dead.
Well, want to play a game? I won't play my normal stuff.
I am willing to play a game.
All right, let's play a game.
Think you've taught me enough fundamentals for me to try at least.
And play as white. There we go. You should have control of white now.
Ooh. So I can start.
Yep.
Let's see. I did it. Oh, wait, no, it didn't work. There we go. Is that how you do it?
Why
I
is
moved the
it
piece.
not? Yeah, I can see that you did, but it's not showing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you moved key 3
I did.
like that. Why is it not interesting? Okay, so what then show you
Oh,
that?
it showed. Yeah,
Okay.
showed me that.
So I moved my D pawn forward 2 spaces
You
to
did.
exert some control over the center.
I see. I stole your move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it doesn't quite work because in this case, yeah, you could threaten to take it, but I'm protecting it.
With the
It's
queen.
being protected by my queen. So I'm
Hmm.
not overly worried. Which is why it doesn't work as white.
Oh no. I see. What if I do that?
Oh, yeah. So that's funny actually. You are actually playing a I mean all the openings have names.
Ah,
And I believe you are playing what's referred to as it's not quite the King's Indian.
I
It's not
see.
quite the King's Indian attack. It's close.
Almost there. It's got spirit.
So in response to that, uh, that attack on my knight, not my knight, my pawn, I will play my own knight forward, defending it.
Hmm. So what if I do that?
Oh yeah, it's basically the fastest castle you can do. Yeah, this is this this basically is. It's not quite, but it's pretty close to being the. It's a different move order, but this opening that you're playing is called the King's Indian attack.
Oh, that's interesting.
All all of them in the opening basically have names. They
E.
all have names
Yeah,
because
I hear so many of
they've
them and they sound cool.
because they've been studied and all of that. So here's something. What if I do that? Because
Uh,
now I'm attacking your knight.
you are.
And the thing is that like
Hmm.
he doesn't really have a fantastic spot to go to.
Hmm. I don't know if this will work. No, wait, no. I'm thinking. Brain is thinking. Where do I put you? If I back here?
That is actually probably the best move, yeah.
Really?
Probably. Either that or that. those.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that. But I was scared you were gonna do something to my queen.
Oh, your queen's safe right now.
I
I can't
don't
do anything
trust.
to
I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid.
it. Well, I'm just going to put this guy out here.
Why? Why? Oh no. I don't know what to do. What if I move this here?
I mean,
But
it's a move.
I don't want to deal with whatever the heck is going on over here.
Well, let's push a bit harder. Again, I'm developing my pieces, getting them out into the middle, controlling the center.
No, wait, I shouldn't do that. Hmm. Oh no. No, I shouldn't do. Oh no! I didn't mean to do that.
Oh,
I mispressed.
here,
No.
here's what I'll do. I'll move this here, and you move them back.
There we go.
There we go. Now you can
Thank you.
properly take your turn.
Thank you. You're too kind. I don't know. I already feel like, oh, I did it again, but I'm sticking with that one. I was gonna do something with it anyways, might as well.
There's an option in the settings, by the way, that you can change it so that only dragging pieces or only clicking pieces will move them. I that just reminded me to turn the click move off for me
Ah.
because of that exact thing. I want it to be purposeful. I want to drag.
Yee. I think I chose that setting just now. Yep, drag
Yeah.
pieces. I changed it. I'll stick with that. I want to see if I can get myself out of a pickle. No! Alright. Alright, this is scary. What do I do?
At this point, there's you can still fight for control of the center. You can still, I mean, you could do that, but that'd open you to en passant.
Is that a smart thing to do?
Probably not.
What if I move this here?
Oh. Mm.
Oh no! I didn't see that! Why did I do that? No! You're just like, you're gonna put that back. Yeah, I screwed myself there.
Okay, you should actually be able to try again.
You're like, yeah, you're gonna lose. Try again.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know where to move.
Well, maybe kicking out this bishop could be a good idea.
How do I get rid of it?
Well, yeah. Move that guy up there, and that forces me to at least, take him back a bit.
Hmm. I think it's your turn. Won't let me move a piece.
Oh. Oh, because we went into... Okay, that's unfortunate. I was hoping that oops, shit. I was hoping that I could like.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's just. Yeah, apparently it doesn't let me do. Okay.
It's
Wish
okay.
there was. Wish there was an easy way to, just hit an actual undo button.
Yeah. It's all good. It's the learning process that's important.
Yeah.
Now I know not to do that again. Goodbye, Queen. I'm sorry I failed you.
Yeah. So when you move a piece, it's important to think about. It's important to think about not just where you're moving the piece to, but where it no longer is.
Yeah.
Think about where it was, what it's doing in its current spot, and if it'll stop doing any of that when you move it.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Riptide, that's one festive moose. Yes. Yes, it is. Kame said I'm not allowed to get rid of them for this stream, though. So.
Damn right. I declare it as law.
Oh, there we go. Riptide. Oh, Riptide requested an Ada Ada and an Ara Ara and a drown. So I'm going to drown first.
Well then.
And a stretch. Okay. So I'm drowning first because I need it.
Drown. I can breathe underwater.
Then I'll stretch. Needed that too, actually. Now, Rip, do you want the Ada Ada first or the Ara Ara first? Redeemed Ada Ada again. So
I think that answers your question.
I think that answers the question, yeah. Ada Ada. And again, because there's a second one in there. Ada Ada.
Even louder. That's
and
funny.
then of course, Ara Ara. There we go. We sharks are skilled at drowning people. Yep, that sounds about right.
Can't have friends over where I live because they'll just drown in my living room.
All right.
I made a move.
You made a move.
I did. I don't know if it's the right move, but I made a move.
Generally, it's best to leave the side pawns to like later. Remember, control of the center. Control the center.
Center.
Control the center. Control the universe.
Yes. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll focus on the center.
You want to be the center of the universe.
Yay!
So now it's my turn to castle.
Oh.
You'll notice in the notation that castling is O-O.
It's wide-eyed. Like
if it was castling the other direction, it would be O-O-O.
Huh. Because of all the like spaces.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Kingside castle. Sorry. Kingside castle, queenside castle. Literally, are you castling on the side the king started on, or are you castling on the side that the queen started on?
Alrighty. So what if I do that?
Well, that does threaten that pawn twice, actually. So now if I want to defend... Now if I want to defend that pawn, I'm going to need another piece protecting him. Because right now, you have two guys attacking him, and I only have one guy defending him.
I didn't think that far ahead, but yes. Just kidding.
But I don't really have... Oh, actually, I don't actually have a great way of protecting him. So, instead, I'm going to say, go ahead and take that pawn if you want. But if you do, I'm going to take your rook.
Uh-oh. Little rude.
And actually, the problem now is that rook has nowhere to move.
That is true.
So I'm going to be able to take the rook anyways.
Yeah. Because I can't go here. Can't go to F3. You're going to take it anyways.
Well, the rook literally can't move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, rook. I was looking at the knight.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not threatening
Mixing
the
up.
knight. I'm threatening the rook.
Yeah. I got mixed up. Gotta remember the names. See. I see. Hmm.
So if I were you, I would probably just take this pawn anyways.
Yoink. I
And
took it.
you'll see in the notation that that's noted as dxe4, which means the pawn in the D file, in the D file, X took on E4.
Hmm.
Or if you look at when I took on turn 10, when I took the queen, it's BXD1. Bishop X for take on D1, where the queen was.
Oh. It's a little confusing, but I think I understand.
Mm-hmm. So now I will do. Here's an opportunity to present another tactic. So right now, if I take your pawn with mine, you can just take back with the bishop.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I, which I am going to do, if I take the rook, you probably want to take that bishop before it gets away.
Yeah.
But you have two choices. You can take with the king, or you can take with the bishop. Now, if you take with the bishop, that bishop is no longer protecting the pawn. So then I can take. And so this bishop move here is called deflecting your bishop. If you
Um,
take, your bishop is deflected away from the pawn.
but if
He
I
got distracted. If you take with the
yeah,
king, if you take the king with the king, then he didn't get deflected.
so I should theoretically take with the king,
You should probably take with the king because that lets you basically keep this pawn.
and nothing's threatening my king right now.
Correct.
Ah, I took it.
Yeah. So now I could take the pawn, but I know that I would just immediately lose it. And
E.
I don't particularly want to take it uh, because right now you have doubled up pawns. You have two pawns on the same file, on the same column. And in general, having doubled up pawns is bad.
Mm.
Like in the long term, doubled up pawns are hard to deal with. They're hard to defend.
E.
So they could be a weakness later. That's like that's high level stuff. Like honestly, don't worry about it too much. But like the basic principle is that doubling up your pawns is it's not fantastic if you can avoid it.
Ah, I see. I
It's often
understand.
it's still often pretty good for the purposes you still often, want to do it anyways for the purposes of disrupting your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a trade-off. Yes, you're disrupting your opponent, but you're creating a bit of a weakness later down the line for yourself.
Okay.
So I'm going to push that pawn forward.
Uh-oh. Hmm.
Now, you do have two different ways you could take it. And I'm defending that space 3 times. Now, if I do that, if you do take it once with one of your pawns, and then if I use one of these, I take back with my knight, then you could take with the other knight, and technically I'm trading one of my knights for one of your pawns, but what I'm getting out of it is a better position on the board in the end.
Yeah.
So I'm trading one of my pieces for a better board position.
Hmm.
It's okay for that to just like totally go over your head.
Well, a little bit, like half of it. But it's fine. Cause what if I move theoretically what happened to me if I moved my bishop in the way of your pawn so you don't promote my bishop at
Well, then
C1?
chances are I'm going to take one of the directions.
Oh, anyways, yeah. But if you take one of those directions, I could take it with another pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So probably stop you from promoting? Maybe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the further this pawn gets, the more dangerous it becomes.
Yeah, and I don't
The
want
more
another
of
queen.
the more of an issue it becomes for you.
Yeah.
So now I have two choices. I mean, I have three. I could push it forward, but then you would just take with your knight. So don't really gain anything out of that. I could take this direction. And then you take, and then I'd want to take again. And then you take, and then I'd be down.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'd be trading one of my pieces for uh for weakening your side. Because then there would be one less pawn in the way of your king.
Yeah.
but it also puts your bishop in a better spot. Like in a really good spot where it would be able to see all the way down there.
Yeah.
So instead, gonna sacrifice up on there.
Then what if
And now
I
you have a choice of, 3 different pieces that could take mine.
Yeah.
And one of them is the wrong choice.
Oh no. Is the wrong choice the knight?
Yes. Why is the knight
Ah.
the wrong choice?
Because let me think this through. Because if the knight it's put here, you can easily capture it with your bishop.
Look at the
Maybe?
whole board.
Oh yeah, I'm tunnel visioning.
What is your knight currently doing? What is this guy currently doing?
I don't know. This is going way
He's
over my
doing
head.
he's doing 2 things. He's attacking my pawn, but he's also defending this bishop.
Oh.
Who is he defending it from? Bam.
Hmm.
The queen from across the
Oh.
board. So, if you take with the knight, he's no longer defending your bishop, and my queen swoops in from across the board.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So I should probably
I'd take with the
pawn or bishop.
honestly, like the pawn or the bishop is decent there. I probably would have done bishop because that gets him out in the open there, but
Oh, right.
and it also gets him out of the way of this.
Yeah.
But taking with the pawn isn't a terrible move. It's not the best, but it's not bad. It's not definitely not as bad as taking with the knight would have been.
Yeah. It was a choice.
Now, these pawns are actually being a bit annoying for me because they are kind of
All over the
getting
place.
in the way. They're doing their job. That's exactly what pawns are there for. Pawns are there to make it really kind of annoying for your opponent's pieces to go places.
Nice. Totally intentional.
I know, but it's something. It's
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm having a blast.
oh, that's great.
Yeah, regardless, I'm having a blast. I just wanted to learn more than anything. I don't care if I win or lose. And I'm learning a lot by making mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. That's that honestly the best way with chess
Yee.
is by you make mistakes and then if you're like actively playing uh if you're actively playing playing games on like chess.com, then you go back after the fact and you can look through what you did in the game. You can go, oh, okay, I kind of screwed up there.
Yeah, you get to like. Does it allow you to rewatch like your previous
Oh yeah,
matches?
yeah,
Oh,
not only that, but you can rewatch, and I'll turn it on just so you can see. I I'll turn on the lines, and I'll turn on evaluation. So evaluation,
oh.
turned on a bar on the left,
Mm-hmm.
and lines, turned on the three, things that you're seeing there.
I
And
see.
what those are doing, those are showing you what the computer thinks of the game. These
Oh.
are showing what, so chess.com uses a chess engine, like literally like chess AI, like
Mm-hmm.
computer that plays, a chess engine called Stockfish. And Stockfish is the best chess engine in the world. The best.
Ah.
Like, so good that even the best human players stand absolutely no chance.
You can read your
And
mind.
doesn't need to read your mind. It just goes off and does its own thing, and you go, "Why would you do that? That's kind of stupid." And then 10 moves later, you go, "Oh shit, that's why."
Sees into the future. Never mind.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. So what? So turning on evaluation and lines is uh is the computer is now is Stockfish is now looking at the game, and it's going, okay, if you make this move, then this move, then this move, then this move, then this move, and it's doing that for a depth of 20 moves. It's looking 20 moves into the future.
Oh my. That's a tricky AI.
Yeah, it's looking 20 moves into the future, and it thinks that the best move for you uh, would be to play Bishop F3. I don't know why.
Hmm.
I do not know why it thinks that. And that's something you can't get too, like, you can go back and look at your games and, see what the computer thinks of them. But you have to keep in mind that our minds do not think like the computer. You don't know what the computer is thinking.
Yeah.
And the computer is doing its analysis based on what it's thinking.
Yeah.
So it's doing its analysis on the basis that if you do this, then of course you follow it up with this move, and then this move, and then this move. As a human, chances are you will never think of those.
Nope.
But it's good for getting like a general, it can spot it, helps you spot like glaring weaknesses, like obvious, like that was the wrong move because this.
Like when I gave up my queen by accident.
Yeah, exactly. And it would have called that a blunder. It would have said, you moved
Mm.
that, you made a mistake. Why? Because it exposed your queen.
Mm. I see.
And at that moment, actually, we can go back and the evaluation will change. So right now,
Oh.
right at this moment, it actually thinks that if you do everything the way it thinks you should, you are slightly winning. It thinks that you have a very, very slight advantage, 0.18. Remember that a pawn is worth 1. So it thinks you have an advantage right now that's worth 0.18 of a pawn.
Oh, I see. It has faith in me. No, just kidding.
But then, if we go one move forward, that changes
E-
to minus 13 because you made a mistake that
Mhm.
lets me take your queen.
Goodbye, queen. Yeah, I see it now. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool. So it's like a good tool to help you learn your past mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. It's great for that. And actually, in like a proper game, after the fact, chess.com will give you like analysis, and they will give you like human readable advice on like, you did this, you could have done this instead because.
Mm-hmm.
and it will tell you why it thinks that you could have done this and done that move instead, and it would have been better.
This is so complicated.
It's a fantastic learning tool.
Yeah, it's
Just
definitely very wonderful.
just don't get too reliant on it. So let's skip
Yeah.
ahead a bit more. Back to where we were. It's your move. I'm going to turn off the evaluation and lines.
Hmm. I don't know if it's worse or better that I can theoretically see how you would respond. Because I play like Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like, well, I could think on the spot rather than have to think every other situation because I can't see someone else's cards.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's one of the things about that's the thing that makes chess is that it's a game of supposedly perfect information.
Hmm. I
But I
see.
will say that this knight move was the setup for something else.
Hmm.
It wasn't just a random move. I specifically moved it there so that on the next turn I have the potential to do something else.
Are you going to steal my bishop?
Well, how would I do that?
If I move my pawn at c3 forward.
Well, that is a possibility, but that's not what I'm looking at. What I'm looking
Hmm.
at is now that I've moved the knight there, the next move I can move him there, and then he's forking your rook and your bishop.
Oh no. Hmm. What is my next course of action?
Well, you probably don't want me to fork your bishop and your rook.
No, can I scare you?
Can you create a threat on another one of my pieces?
Hmm.
Not really.
I don't know what to do.
So to get out of the fork, what I would probably suggest is to bump this rook forward. Just one. Not
Oh,
two,
right.
because then he'd get eaten by the bishop.
Yeah.
But one, so that when not there. So that if I want to move the knight there, he's only attacking that bishop.
This
And
definitely takes a lot of. No, go ahead.
even then if I take the bishop, you could still take with the knight. But if I
Ah.
move there, and your pawns have moved such that the only place this guy can go to is there, where I can take him, but there you don't have a guy protecting.
Mm-hmm. It's so hard to visualize as a beginner.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. I mean that is like the definitive skill. It's so hard. It is tough.
Yeah. Because I'm like tunnel visioning on every single individual piece as if like it's the only thing I should focus on, which is why I make weird moves. Ah.
Yeah, it's a skill, and it's one that we're all working on.
All right. I'll do what you suggested.
And now I have to figure out what I want to do, because I've kind of put myself in a spot where I don't have an amazing way forward right now. I think that's a move. So you moved your rook, so now trying to go for that didn't make a whole lot of sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no point in trying to push that.
What would happen if I... No. Wait, no. I shouldn't make any rash moves.
No time pressure.
Oh man, imagine if it was timed. Oh my gosh.
Most chess is.
Yeah, I see like the timer next to them.
The standard time control that I play most of the time is called rapid chess. And that's each player gets 10 minutes total.
Oh no. No, that's not a smart move. I just saw it. I was gonna move a pawn forward, but you would have taken it with your knight. Think. Yeah, you would have. Oh, this is a pickle and a half.
Yeah, you've a bit put yourself in a spot where it's hard to move forward effectively.
Hmm. Theoretically, what should I do?
The moves that I'm seeing that could be worth doing is I almost suggested that. Do not do that. Because like see and that's a case where I almost made a mistake. And the first move that came to my eye would have been a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you'd done that, I would have had that. And then I could have forked again.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Will not do that.
I think like that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Yeah, those are the best options that I can see.
Move this.
That makes some sense because that gets him on that diagonal. That makes some sense because knights at the back on the edge are sad.
Yeah, they sad horsies. Move the horsey. Because he probably will do better there. Hi, Nekotami. Yeah, we're playing chess. We're doing a practice game. He taught me the basic fundamentals.
I just realized that's also a mistake. Oops.
Oh.
see, I'm missing things too. It's not
No,
just
you're
you.
good.
I'm missing things too because
And
I
it's
realized
fine.
that's a mistake because now because that night if we go back to just look at it, that night, what was he doing there? And he was actually serving an important purpose. He was protecting that square. So now that moves, and I move my queen forward. Check.
Yep.
And it's attacking your king, which because this square she's on is no longer protected by the knight. And when you move your king out of the way, and you have to move him because you can't block and you can't take it, I get to take your knight. So
I'll be stuck.
I get a fork.
Yep. Oh no, but it's okay. It's fun. It's fun learning.
Yes, and see, like I said, I'm missing things too. I missed that. I missed that too initially.
Nakatama said, "This looks like a stream for smart people." Definitely. I'm trying my best here.
If you look closely, you can see Kame's brain growing.
Yes, slowly but surely. Every inch it's getting. I feel like my brain's getting massaged. There's chess fingers just massaging it right now.
Oh, and if you look at the chess notation, you'll see that that move was QD3 plus, and the plus sign means check.
Ah, it's been checked. Ah, I see. So definitely next time, if I'm in this similar situation somehow, move the bishop.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, well, remember to see what spaces your pieces are guarding before you move them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh man, I didn't think about that. I don't think I would have even thought about it even if I didn't move my knight. I wouldn't have realized he was protecting that space away from the queen. But now I know. So that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun.
So now your choices are there or there.
What to here?
That is the better choice
Yeah.
because regardless of which way you do, I would still go there. That puts you in check again. At this point, you have two options. There, actually, you have a number of options, but you can go there, you can go there, or you can go there. Technically, you can go there too, but that's not a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
And
If
one of them is, I think one of them is the definite best option.
would it be moving the bishop on top of the king?
Yes,
So
I
moving
think
him
like
down,
that.
because yeah.
Because that way, like if you, I'm just gonna rewind real quick to explain my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd done that, then the only thing protecting that knight from just being taken on the spot is this bishop. But then that bishop would basically be stuck protecting the knight. And
Yeah.
vice versa, if you moved the bishop there, where this knight would be basically stuck protecting the bishop. So you do this because the king's not going anywhere, and he can just protect the bishop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. I understand the reasoning.
Unfortunately, because you were forced to do that, that leaves me free to
To
gobble
go.
your other rook.
Yeah. Goodbye, rook. Hmm. Oh my, I just have a bunch of pawns.
It happens. It happens. Like I've had some games where like I've played through and I thought I was doing really well. Like I thought I was good, and then at some point, like towards the end of it, I'm looking at the board. I'm like, where did all my pieces go? How did it end up this poorly? I
Who
thought I was
nommed?
doing well, and then I just look at the board again, and I go, oh,
Who
oops.
nommed all my pieces?
Yeah, exactly. Where'd they go?
Oh no! Oh, I can't move any of my pawns anywhere. Oh no!
Best one is that because
Do what you said.
it's being protected
Ah.
by the knight. So yes, I can do that.
But I would take it.
Well, looking at it, that's your best option. But here's the thing, and here's why I'm going to take it anyways. Because I'm going to deflect. I'm going to try to do a deflection again.
Mm.
You remember what the deflections were?
Yeah, you move a piece so that I worry about the piece you're trying to take, but instead you're doing a move that will take a better piece
Yeah,
somewhere
exactly.
else.
So I'm going to take your pawn, and you can take my knight, but if you do that, your knight is no longer protecting your bishop.
Yeah, that I fortunately saw. Haha. I think. That one made sense. Ah, but so I can't move because without my bishop, that's one less bishop protecting my king.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Hmm. Would it be a good move if I moved this pawn? That's h2. I don't know what to do with that one. I think that one's kind of stuck.
That guy's just kind of there, and you want him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of the unfortunate spots where you just kind of sit there and you go, "There's no great moves for me."
Yeah. Hmm.
Like, let's see.
Uh, Brain
Uh,
thinking.
yeah,
um,
I'm not seeing anything great. Like, honestly, that might be because here's the thing. Yes, it no, even that's not good. Uh
when I get myself in such a pickle, not even a chess master can get me out of it.
no, I'm not a chess master.
You're a chess
Far,
master to
far,
me.
far from. It is a long-term life goal to, you know, maybe someday go for the lowest tier of uh titled master.
hmm
But even that is like a long shot.
Hmm. It's so weird
Yeah.
because it feels like everything is just locked. Like,
Yeah, it is.
it's so weird.
This is such a thing. This is such a thing. This is a known thing that there is a term for it. There
Oh.
is a chess specific term for it, and it's a German term,
What is it?
Zugzwang, and
Zugzwang?
Zugzwang, and it literally just means that any move you make will make things worse.
It's accurate though. What if I just just started moving pieces just to see how it'll go?
I mean, that is a absolutely valid method.
Okay, okay, I'll see. I'll see what exactly I will miss if I make certain moves. Cause my brain wants kind of wants to move like one of two pawns forward, but like you said, might not be the best move. You gotta move that one there.
Yeah, and so that runs into the problem that my knight can take yours and forks those.
Oh, right.
So check, you can go there or there.
But there.
That is the better option because it pressures my knight, so my knight has to be the one to go there.
Oh, I see. See
It's not a
how
great option,
no.
but it's the better one.
Made things worse. It's so I kind of love how quickly things can go wrong.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah, exact it's the common thing is that it's not who makes the first mistake, it's who makes the second mistake at this level.
It's almost like burning down your own house because you're curious. I'm just kidding. Like, I kind of want to see how this will go. But I'll lose a lot in the process.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, then I can't move anywhere.
I I mean, if you're, just curious, you want to learn something, move that pawn.
I move.
And this is an example of discovered check. This is where I'm inflicting check not by, actively, not from the piece that I'm moving, but because when I move my knight, that then discovers check from my
Ah.
queen. And so it's called discovered check because it's not like, active, aggressive, my knight putting you in check. It's my knight moving out of the way for my queen to do it.
Yeah, so it's like your own piece. You can move it away.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And so that's discovered check.
And now that I've been checked, I have to move my king or protect him somehow.
Yeah. And you could do that, but
Yeah. And if I go down, you're just gonna do that anyways.
yeah.
Ish?
So,
No. Maybe?
there you want to go there because if you go there, I move there and fork that way.
So go one down.
Yeah. In practice, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but in theory, that's a difference because at this point, it's checkmate in 2 moves. As in, no matter what you do, from that point, I was able to get checkmate in 2 moves. So going back 1, it was checkmate in 3, called mate in 3, because now
mate in 3.
Mate in 3, checkmate in 3 moves. Now it's mate in 2 because 1, you can't take it because my knight is protecting. And so your only move is there.
Ah.
2.
Oh.
Because my knight puts you in check. You can't move there, or there because of my queen.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
And that's marked in the notation as NX because I took a pawn, G3. I took a pawn on G3, and the hashtag is checkmate.
Wow. This is super fun.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Yay.
That is not most people's reactions.
Really?
Yeah, most people are like, okay, great, I don't want to do this. Not for me.
I've just always been curious. I've always just seen like chess boards in like stores or just like people playing chess, and I just always wanted to learn. And I'm very stubborn. I don't stop if I lose. Like I just want to keep going and going until I win one game, and then I decide if I want to continue or not.
Yeah, very fair.
That's usually how I get hooked on things like trading card games and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I believe it. I'm much the same way.
Mm-hmm. And why I love video games so much. And like, keep trying until I beat this boss.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that was great.
So there you go.
Oh, this was really fun. Not gonna lie, I had a blast. Like, I'm still replaying everything in my head, kind of like seeing, like, oh man, yeah, you're right, there was that. That's really cool. Like, anytime you made a move, I was like, oh, cool. You're like, I didn't
Well,
see that or think of that.
well, let's go all the way back then and
Oh
turn
my.
on. Let's go all the way back then and turn on the evaluation
Yeah.
and see what it thinks. Number of lines. I'm trying to see. Actually, here we go. Let's go into the Explorer mode. Does that show up for you? Are you seeing things on the right? Like,
I
no, I
see.
don't think you're seeing that.
No, probably not.
Okay. Yeah, I know. It looks like you're not seeing it.
Oh, you guys are sweet. Kame fan club. Oh no,
Yeah.
you guys are too sweet. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Having a lot of fun.
Yeah, so let's step through. Basically, regardless of what you do, the computer, unless you like really, really, really throw it for a loop, the computer will never hate the first few moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll just go, yeah, it's an opening. This is not enough for it's never enough for it to decide that it's bad.
E. AI's
So
like, I won't judge you yet.
yeah, exactly. Basically, it's like it's too early to tell. You haven't shown me enough to know if you're crap yet.
Do some more. Maybe I'll consider throwing a book at you.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. I want to go to Explorer. So you do that, and if you look at the evaluation right now, it's like 0-0. It's perfectly even. It doesn't know either way. It's still an opening. Not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. It likes that for you. It still slightly likes it for you. And so that like 0.3, 0.2 is that's the first player advantage. That's the white advantage.
Yeah, the small statistic.
Yeah, that's the small statistical. White is just better off because it's first.
Mm-hmm.
And you move that, and again, it'll fluctuate a bit, but it can't really say one way or another. It didn't especially like that from me.
Ooh, it's judging you. Not just kidding.
Oh, I moved too far back. So at this point, okay, sorry, I misjudged. It is actually saying it's a bit better for me at this point. It doesn't.
Mm.
It does. The computer doesn't really like the defensive openings. It doesn't like the ones where you hang back and don't push for the center early on, because it sits there and it thinks, well, that's just, why are you not taking up the center?
Yeah.
Black's taking up the center. It's better off. Look, he's playing for the middle.
It's scolding me.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And then yeah, and so it fluctuates a bit, and and it didn't like that move for me. Why didn't it like that move for me? Because I should have done this. It thinks that I should have done this, and just immediately pressured your knight right out the gate.
It likes being more aggressive.
Yeah.
Ah.
It also wants me to do that to it wants me to do that to pressure you, or it wanted me to do BD6. Oh, okay. It wanted me to do that to start to defend this. So either defend that pawn from your knight or push it. And it wanted me to do it with the bishop so that the bishop would be on this diagonal.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, scary.
I didn't do that. I did this. Which it doesn't really like. Now, it wants you to go there because it knows that this is coming. It knows that I want to do that, and so it's saying, get your knight out of there. You don't want to be there.
Like he's up to something.
It doesn't mind castling. Go figure. Like I said, castling is generally a pretty good move.
Yeah.
But like right now, like yes, I'm looking into it, but like it's such a small variance, like that at our level, it's even. It's basically even.
Even Steven.
And so then I push my pawn exactly the way I thought I would. And why wouldn't I? Puts pressure on the knight. And oh, would you look at that? I was right. Oh my god. I wasn't actually sure if I was right on this one. Because if you remember, the two options were that or that.
Yeah.
It likes this one way better than it likes this. Like, way better. I don't exactly see why. And I think it probably has something to do with some stuff happens, and at some point I sacrifice a piece to take that, probably, looking at it.
Probably.
Yeah, it's looking at that, and I push like that, and you don't really have anywhere to go, so you do something else, and then I capture and capture. Yeah, okay. That's why it doesn't like it, because going there basically traps your knight.
I would have died.
Yeah, and I didn't see that. I didn't see that move. It took going back over it with the computer to see that. So that was the right call. Oh, it didn't really like that. It didn't really like my push. What's it saying? Knight c3. Okay, it just wants you to put the knight. Okay, it doesn't like that. I'm not surprised. As far as it's concerned, it's looking at that and it's going, what did that do? That didn't do anything.
I was considering moving the knight, but I was just like, move the pawn.
And here's the funny thing. It doesn't actually hate it, and you know why it doesn't hate it? And why that move actually like appears in games sometimes?
Why?
Because it prevents my knight from moving there. It doesn't hate it. It thinks it's a bit weird to do it now. But it's going, yeah, well, often black likes putting out their knight to this spot.
It looked at me, it's like, okay, kind of weird, but all right.
Yeah. Weird order. You have other priorities that you should be looking at right now. But, like, honestly, okay.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, it's about even. Okay, yeah, that was a misclick. I moved that. You moved that. You moved that. We're back to basically exactly even. Not
Mm-hmm.
quite, but now you do your actual move. It doesn't mind that. It thinks that was a mistake for me. It thinks that weakened my position
Mm.
as opposed to other things I could do.
Oh
Except
yeah, that
then
one.
you do this.
Yeah.
And then the thing is that at this point, like the evaluation's gonna be completely skewed
Mm-hmm.
because minus 13 is like anything beyond like -5 is considered just like lost.
Oh god, all hope is lost.
Yeah, basically it like once you get to -5, you're like definitively losing unless you seriously
Mm.
turn things around. So -13 is like it's sitting there and it's going, nah, nah,
Like you're crazy. You're crazy. You're done.
you're done. There's
You're
no way
done.
for you to get out of this. Like this is just you just lost your queen for free. Like you're not recovering. That's what it's thinking, and honestly, it's not wrong.
No, considering how the rest of the game went. It's like just surrender.
And so now it's from this point forward, it's kind of hard to draw conclusions because the evaluation is so off.
Yeah. And that's because I lost my queen so early.
It's because you lost your queen so early and in such a devastating position
Oh,
that
even the AI is like, hmm.
yeah, because if you'll notice, I'm only up 8 points of material, but
Mm-hmm.
it's evaluating it as -13, which means even besides material, it thinks that I have an advantage that's equivalent to having an extra rook on the board,
Oh.
which is because it's looking at the position and it's going, this is so bad that you would need an extra rook to bring it back.
I like this AI. Doesn't tell me any lies. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
you
no,
don't
no,
goof.
stockfish is brutal. Actually, I know exactly why I know exactly why it's even so going back here, it goes to -13. Why does it go to -13 instead of -9? And here's why. Goes there, I take it, and the queen is worth 9, right? So now we're still
Yep.
missing 4 points. You do that, it doesn't like that. I do that, you move there. Why? Because it sees that I will move my bishop there and take the rook. You get a pawn out of it, but I get the rook, and that brings it to 13 points of material.
I
It's
see.
looking that far into the future, and it's going, if you do that and then that and then that and then that, it works out to -13.
It's alright, like, yeah, I know what you're gonna do next, and that's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Like the instant you moved the pawn to open that, and that let me took the queen, the computer was already going, okay, great, you've lost the rook too. Congratulations.
The second I move that piece, it's like, well, your rook is gone too. Oh man, that's so cool. It's so cool that the AI can see that.
Yeah. Let's see. Was taking yes, taking with the king was the right move. Thought so.
Hmm.
Exactly because, uh, yeah, exactly because of the because if you took with the bishop, I would have taken there.
Yep.
That's exactly a 1 point difference in the evaluation, which is what a pawn's worth.
Mm.
See, this is what I find so fascinating about chess. Like even once the game is over, even if it was
Mhm.
an absolutely crushing, you know, crushing defeat for either player, doesn't matter what the game is that the two of you can sit down after the fact and use these amazing tools that we have now
Yeah.
to step through it turn by turn and go, okay, what was up with that?
Yeah, I
What
really
should
like
we have
that
done?
too. Ah, that's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean that's a huge part of like even the top levels is the analysis after the fact. Yes, playing the game is important, but going back afterwards and figuring out exactly what could have been done, what makes sense, why, that sort of thing is a huge part of it as well.
Mm-hmm. That makes so much sense, and I'm loving it. Oh my gosh, love research. This is
Yeah,
fun.
and chess studying is endless. You could do it forever. You could do it forever, and that would only get you so far.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Like,
cool.
I have sitting on my shelf a 500, 600 page book of just openings.
Oh my.
And it's
500
dense. It's it is
How thin are the pages?
it is they are thin pages and it's dense in like ridiculously dense of just variation after variation of theory of like theory says the we've seen this before in response to D5 you go knight like and it'll go like 15 moves deep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think you might have accidentally got me addicted to chess. A little bit. Just a little bit. I'd definitely like to play more and then like a month later play a game with you again. How much I
Absolutely.
improved.
Yeah, I mean I'd be happy to come back for another one, off stream, whatever. I'm good
Hmm.
for it.
Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. This is fun. Especially like seeing them, like this is probably like my favorite part like right now, just looking back at what moves would have done if I had
Yeah.
moved them differently, or why like the reason why I lose because of the way I set the pieces.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
makes
and
sense.
and this is like a bit of the stripped down analysis too. Like in a normal game, it will rank each move from best move to blunder. Like it'll go
Mm.
this was the best move you could have played. This was a or this was a good alternative, or this was a good move, or that was slightly inaccurate, or that was a mistake, or that was a blunder, or that was you missed a win there, like
Yeah.
or it'll even go like that was a brilliant move. People don't normally see that move.
Oh, that'd be cool to get that from an AI.
Yeah, it honestly is an amazing feeling to look through the history and see the blue exclamation marks next to a move where it goes, congratulations on seeing that. People don't
Oh.
people wouldn't have seen that normally.
Oh, the AI is like, congrats.
Yeah, exactly. It straight up says congratulations on seeing that. That's you know
Gold
that
star.
was that was that was like the move to make. That was
Mm-hmm.
the move to make. It's a hard one to see, and you saw it. Oops,
Oh, that's so cool.
I didn't mean to toggle. I hit my numpad.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Well, you look so angry. Already given up on teaching me? If I have that of a student? I'm just kidding. Oh, this is so fun. Just like, oh, this turtle is hopeless. This child is hopeless.
No, far from it.
Oh,
Far
thank you.
from.
You are fulfilling a childhood dream of mine, so thank you.
Really glad to hear that.
Mm.
Legit, like really happy to hear that. That's great.
Just never had the time, or I always told myself maybe later. But now it's just like, nope, we're doing it now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. My pleasure.
Do you know how
People
many like chess puzzles are in video games and I could never solve them because I never knew even just like a lick of chess?
and I solve all of them. Like it's like an impulsive thing. Like I've there's one particular moment, like it was literally in one of Eris's streams. Like I was literally only just like watching it, and I think she was playing like Hitman or something, and there was a chess puzzle, and like I was literally like there in chat, I'm like, Eris, go back to the board. Go back to the board.
I know how to solve it.
I could do this.
I was playing We Were Here with War Bunny, and War Bunny knows chess, but it was like an escape room type of game.
Oh yeah.
So like we were in different rooms, so we didn't. He couldn't just come over and like solve the puzzle for me.
Yeah.
I had the chessboard, and I was just like, I don't know where any of these pieces go. I don't even know which one. He's just like, where's the rook? And I'm like, which one's the rook? And so he had to come and watch my screen to solve the puzzle and then like leave to his computer. I'm like, ah. So this is just great to know because now if any puzzles are chess based in any game, I could solve them. Or at least have a better time.
Like even at the bare minimum, I find that knowing the absolute bare minimum, even if it's like comparatively basically nothing, it's still useful. It's still
very
nice to know.
Oh, the remake of Resident Evil 2 has a chess puzzle too, but it's not that hard to solve. Oh, really? I would have just stared at that like, yeah, no, I give up. I would have looked it up on the internet and just like, Resident Evil 2 puzzle chess help.
And the chess puzzles on chess.com, like on this site, are great. They're fantastic. Like you can just go through puzzle after puzzle after puzzle after puzzle and slowly build up the levels, and you learn from it. You really do.
Feel like I've gained 2 more IQ points. I have big brain.
Get the basics down of what I told you today, and honest to God, get those solid down, and that makes you better at chess than the average person.
Yeah, I just need to get better at not tunnel visioning each piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Like and like I'm not just saying that for like you in particular. Like that's a big thing. That's a big thing, and I still fall for it sometimes. So sometimes I still I'm looking a bit too hard at one side of the board, not paying attention to something else, and I move and immediately, lose a piece, lose something. I go, oh, I should have seen that.
Especially when you're on time, with a timer, exactly, breathing down your neck, like you're gonna lose in 5 seconds if you don't make a move.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm a slow player. I am.
Oh, I'm definitely.
Even rapid is a bit fast for me.
My chat is thanking you for teaching all of us chess. I didn't expect that we could really see the world turtles. You wouldn't believe how many people I know that have always wanted to learn chess. So just having this stream up is a really great resource for people to have. Especially since you explain things very well and you didn't mind me asking really dumb questions.
I'm honestly just happy to have someone that wants to listen, because most people they know I'm a chess nerd. They know it. It's and I'm sitting there, it's just let me teach you the base amount. And they're like, oh, really? Do I have to? Can we not?
It was fun. I just love learning in general. That's why I am a world turtle in training. Gotta learn human chess if I'm going to be able to take on the responsibilities of a world turtle.
Well, I
Part
mean,
of
you
the
are
book.
learning. You are learning from a demon.
Hey, the universe isn't quite picky about where I learn my curriculum from. As long as I do my responsibilities, I'm good. Jen also said you have a soothing voice. And I have to agree. You're also a really great teacher, just overall. You explain things so well, and it was just like easy to pick it up.
And thank you, Jen. I appreciate those compliments.
Hmm. Yeah, this is great. This is great. I will definitely watch back on my own VODs, just be like, okay, what did he say about this one opening? Or this one move? Yeah, it's great. It's really great.
Yeah, should probably. I should probably wrap up here. If for nothing else, I need to save my voice a tiny bit.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfectly okay. Perfectly understandable.
I need to have a functional voice for work tomorrow.
Sounds good. Yeah, this is a great place to leave off of. I've learned a lot. Especially the basics. The basics were the most important thing. Yay! And I'm gonna end stream here as well.
It just gets more complicated from here.
Yeah, it's all about, okay, you know the basics now. Figure the rest out.
Yeah.
Just keep playing. Trial and error.
I'm looking for a raid target. Let's see. Let's hand off to... Let's hand off to B. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I will. I'm gonna wrap up here for the night. So, thanks everyone for coming out. Thanks for being a lovely student, Kame.
Aw, thank you.
I had a blast. This was great.
Me too. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to teach me.
Thank you for humoring this grumpy demon.
You're not grumpy at all. You're grumpy. You would have lost my patience, or lost your patience. You're good. You're good. Thank you.
Yeah, and until next time, I hope everyone has a good rest of their morning and evening. And I will see you next time. Now, get out of here.
I'm gonna say goodbye to my stream. I'm also gonna be ending today. Thank you for coming and watch me learn how to play chess, and I hope you guys also learned a lot today as well. I wish you guys the best for the rest of your day. Yeah, good night. No matter where you are in the world, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys. Love you guys.